ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and lovers of drones everywhere, welcome to Thursday Night Live. Hey, it's Jake the Snake Sloan. Welcome, my friend.
Oh, good to be back, Ken.
It's good to have you back.
Also, it's good to be back not in your neck of the woods, but in my neck of the woods where I'm not melting.
Yeah, well, it's a little warmer where I am. Jake, for those who don't know, is in Alaska right now. And you've got some great footage that you sent me. We'll share here in a little bit. Every time you just point the camera out one of your windows, it's just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
And
yeah, pretty much.
I will tell you that if you're not a member, please become a member. You're not going to want to miss out on the discussion we had just a few minutes ago. Guess what? Jake pees on glaciers.
You promised you wouldn't tell.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Well, you know, these are our peeps. They got to know. On the show tonight, and you're here on an auspicious evening, the world famous Josh Bixler from Flite Test is on tonight.
I can't wait.
He's a big guest, man.
I mean, huge. I don't even know how you talked him into this, but it's pretty awesome.
I don't know either, but he agreed to come on here with us lowly troglodytes, and him and his big, huge, almost 2 million subscriber channel, man. We're going to talk about that and RC stuff and his history, and he's just a really nice, down-to-earth guy, actually. So we'll talk to him, and I have to give you an update on Jeff Sills. He won't be doing the news tonight. Sean Geekspana will be stepping in for him. Jeff never misses a show. He beats himself up whenever he misses out on a show. Other than me, he's the person that's been on TNL the most regular. Mm-hmm. So he's feeling a little bit ill. He went to the doctor today, and the doctor gave him some medicine. He's pretty sure it's the flu, although he is going to be doing a COVID test. Even his kids are feeling flu symptoms. So let's have our thoughts or prayers out to him and his family, and he'll be back next week. I think he's watching now, and for those who are members, you can let Jeff know how much you miss him tonight by putting up that new emoji I made of him. You can find it there in the special emojis section. Jake, what have you been up to?
Oh, man. First I got to apologize because you've asked me to co-host TNL now for like 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah.
And every time I've said, I'm sorry, Ken, I can't. Because I was traveling all over the U.S. filming for TV shows and other stuff like that.
Living
which
life
I'm not complaining
O'Reilly.
about,
No.
but it did really.
What kind of things have you been doing? Like, can you even talk about it?
Yeah, so I was down in like 4, 5, 6, 7 states filming a special for PBS, which is pretty cool. The whole thing is completely shot on drones.
Right.
Well, mostly shot on drones. We did use a helicopter for one part.
Did they pay you in tote bags?
Yes, I have a lot of tote bags.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
And then I did a couple of different episodes for Chicago PD, which is pretty cool. And I did another thing for Caterpillar, which I can't say anything about until that comes out sometime in September.
Right.
And what else?
Did
Something
you use
else.
your fancy octocopter with the red camera for any of those?
Oh, yes. For all of them.
Oh, wow. So
yes.
the thing might be paying for itself soon, huh?
Eventually, sure.
Okay, all right. By the way, before we get any further, I want to thank our longest sponsor, our best sponsor, our favorite sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, the Cadillac of processed meat. I'm talking about a pigeon, a jerky.
You'll enjoy pigeon jerky, the Cadillac of processed meats. You'll enjoy pigeon jerky, and you'll give your family a treat. It's balanced nutrition to help them grow, and it's full of fiber to make them go.
Here we go.
You'll enjoy pigeon jerky,
the Cadillac of processed meats. Yeah. Thank you, Pigeon Jerky. Jerking pigeons since 1970.
A while.
A long time. And I have just noticed, do you see all those pretty colors up there? It looks like there might be a super chat train coming. So if you want to hop on and support the channel by either hopping on the Super Chat train or becoming a member. We're looking for a goal, of course, every night of 10 new members. That would be awesome. And I want to thank all of the pre-show Super Chatters very much for their contributions. Thank you. I had to restart my computer, and so off they go into the ether, so I can't remember. It doesn't. Thanks, YouTube. You're awesome the way that works. But Mark H. with $50. Jake, do you see what Mark H. did?
Yeah, man, that Mark H., he's something else. He is such a cool guy, and he's so supportive of the community. It's amazing.
He really is. And he gave us a $50 super sticker. Thank you so much. Artco out there in Colorado, $5. He says UCLA Trojans beat the Oregon State Beavers. With awesome penetration to stiff defense. Yeah. I never know with Art. I really need to pre-read these, but thanks, Artco. You whack-a-mole. Big Water UAV Solutions with the $10 for medicinal purposes. Thank you so much. Incidentally, some of you are curious about what happened in Chicago with my car. I will say it was an adventure. I'll give you the short version for those who are interested. I'll tell you later. But I met some wonderful people up there, and I met, not to give anything away, but I met the best tow truck driver ever. So there's a little hint as to what happened. But I have some video of that coming up. Jay Young, nice. Thank you so much, Jay Young, for the $5. She'll be coming around the corner when she comes. Geeks Vana. What? Geeks Vana's on the show. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? All right. Thank you for the 5-pounder. Choo-choo. Northside Hawk Drone and Tech with I think that's an Australian, $2. Hello from Melbourne, Australia. Eric Swanson, $5. $5 for Jeff Sills and the medical bills. Hey, that is a good band name.
It really is a really good band name.
Ladies and gentlemen, one night only. Jeff Sills and the medical bills. Yeah, I will give a portion of this to Jeff. He's awesome. We love him. Rob Agnew. Thank you, Drone Rob. With a 215, hop on the train, he says. Dyna Drone! $5. Hey guys, I just got here. Welcome to you. Joseph Moylan Carter with a 5-pounder. Thank you very much. Ken, please wave to my mother Elaine. For one night only, she is staying up late with me watching. She had a stroke a few years ago, but doing well now. Yes, I think you sent me a video with your mom, and let me wave to her. Hello, Mom. Hello, Elaine. Hi, Elaine. Your son's awesome, and thank you for making him. I appreciate that. We all appreciate it. Thank you, Elaine. The Mojek with a 449. Thank you so much for the poundage. Choo-choo, Super Chat Train. Happy TNL, everyone. And Philip Koshat. Oh, my God. There's Koshat all over the place. Thank you, sir. $10 from him. And he also contributed in the pre-show chat as well.
That's right. He did.
Very generous, all of you. Thank you so much. Robert Anderson with the $5. Choo-choo, he says. Thank Choo-choo very much. Northern Tier FPV with the $10. Hey, Ken, Jeff, hope you feel better soon. Have a great show. And Jeff Young. This is a long train, my goodness. Jay Young with the $3. Chumming the waters for Lexus. Join in. We're going to start a love train. Yes, I saw Lexus in the chat as well. Lexus, I love you, baby. You know I think about you all the time. It's you and me.
Do I need to go away?
Yeah, we're gonna need some alone time. Cliff Combs, cliffhanger photo with a 333. Sorry I missed you last week. All aboard, he says. Thank you very much, Cliff. WHM3 with a $20. My goodness. WHM3, always very generous. Whenever I see WHM3 in the super chat, it's always a nice, lovely orange $20. Thank you. Hot dogs, mac and cheese, TNL makes for an awesome Friday Eve. Yes, and this is something I wanted to make sure to do every time. Thank you, Europeans, for staying up late. It's Thursday night here in the United States. It's 1 a.m. in where Geeks Vana is. Isn't it, buddy? Yeah, it is.
It is indeed, yeah.
And for everybody else in Europe who stays up to watch us, we really do appreciate it, and we hope that it's fun for you tonight. Kaka Poo Head, who also contributed earlier as well. Thank you so much, Kaka Poo Head. Great username. $4. Thank you very much, sir. Leonard Oglesby with the $5. Here's some gas cash for the Abarth. Yes. When my car is broken, my radio station lets me drive that piece of poo, the Abarth. It is a death trap, but at least I can get my groceries in it. Thank you, Leonard. Josh Hawk with the $10. Ticket to Ride. Thank you, Josh. Very succinct, and thank you very much. Alan, a.k.a. Alien Applewhite with the $5. Tossing in a few bucks for Jeff. Thank you very much. And I know Jeff will be watching this later, so do wish him well. Send him positive vibes, if you would. Florida Drone Media with a $5 super sticker says hiya. Thank you very much. Newfoundland Drones with a Canadian $10. I think that spends like real money. Have you seen Canadian dollars? Looks like play money, but I think it's real. Thank you so much, very much. Newfoundland Drones. Femi Fanatic. That's a great username. I don't think I've seen them before. And this says, get well soon, Jeff. Thank you, Femi, for taking the time to super chat. And the caboose looks like it's going to be Matt Bugby Aerial Views. Thank you very much. $5 from you. I want to hear a Mazda story with a happy ending. Get well, Jeff. Yeah, I'll give the Mazda story later. We've got to get to the news. We've got a lot of it. And I don't want to be late for our guest. Our guest tonight, Josh Bixler from Flite Test. And you don't keep big wigs waiting. No. Time is money. No. They don't have time for this. It's enough that they're coming down here slumming with us. So I appreciate that very much. But before we do the news.
Us peasantry YouTube folks.
Us plebeians. So, all right, before we get to the news, we've got to go to Canada, to the Great White North, and check in with our buddy, Mr. Beauchart, for the weekly Beauchart. Enjoy.
Hi, Ken. Jim Beauchart back again with another episode of the weekly Beauchart. Boy, it's good to be back. Feeling comfortable back here in
Look, he's on the wall.
Well, let's get into it. We've got a big show tonight. I proposed to a mime and asked, will you mirror me? She was absolutely speechless. A communist joke isn't funny unless everybody gets it.
Oh, no.
Sometimes I tuck my knees into my chest and lean forward. That's just how I roll.
Good God.
Last week, I went to a wedding of 2 nuclear power workers. The groom was glowing and the bride was radiant. I watched a documentary on beavers. It was the best damn show I ever saw. And now here's a quick one because, as usual, we are running late. What's better than Ted dancing?
What?
Ted singing and dancing. On that note, and bye.
Thank you for the weekly Beauchart. Thank you very much. Wow. Oh, man, I'm getting a lot of mileage out of his John Wayne Gacy impression. Thank you, Mr. Beauchart. As always, you really do set the mood. And now let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. The news.
Stop the music. It's time for news.
Heading all the way across the big pond into London town for the drone news with, oh my goodness, it's Sean, Geeks Vana. Welcome.
It's me.
That's you. Thanks for sitting in. And of course, having the English accent will give the news so much more gravitas.
Well, I don't know about that. Jeff has all the gravitas in the drone news sphere, certainly.
Jeff has gravitas. You have gravitas. All right, what do we got?
Okay, well, first up, what would you say if I asked you about flying cows? Well, this story actually refers to something covered previously by Jeff Seals, the awesome Jeff Seals on TNL News. This week, drones were used to provide cell service to areas hit hard by Hurricane Ida. AT&T's Flying Cow, which actually stands for Cell on Wings, is a new technology aimed at providing wireless coverage during natural disasters and also big events. The drone basically becomes a cell site to beam wireless LTE coverage across an area of, wait for it, 40 square miles.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Wow.
The drone is weather resistant and can withstand extreme conditions. The thermal imaging can also give ground units support in things like search and rescue, and obviously help find people in buildings. The tethered drone can hover at about 300 feet, with the data being transferred via the cable down to the ground station and then out via a router. So this is something which is really impressive, and I know it's something that Jeff has followed closely since I think it was about 12 months ago that he showed their first trial versions. But this is actually one in the wild, as it were, doing the job.
That is really cool. And on a side note, I would much rather be a victim of a natural disaster than a natural disaster. Doesn't it sound a little bit more polite?
Yes.
I say,
So
Ken,
much nicer.
yes, you've got a natural disaster heading your way. I'd be like, oh, really? No big deal.
Yeah, you can imagine 911 calls in this sort of old English thing, can't you? Hello, terribly sorry to bother you, operator. I seem to have had a tree fall on my house. After what has been a week that would have disappointed some drone fans, including the host of this show, Ken Heron, will be a little bit disappointed to see that DJI released the OM5 phone gimbal this week, not the Phantom 5. Sorry, Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lightweight device with a built-in selfie stick. Because
Oh,
we all
great.
need one of those, right?
Great.
You know,
Didn't selfie sticks go out with fanny packs? I thought we got
yeah.
over them. Weren't we over them?
it's a manual selfie stick as well. It's not as if it's some cool thing that like. Bzz.
Oh,
you have to pull the thing. Oh, anyway.
Oh, it's not a button, and it just.
No.
It's not, oh.
You pull the thing out.
Oh,
You
that'll
pull the
be
thing out.
on the 6.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah, they're holding back the motor for the 6.
Stop making gimbals, DJI. Go back to what you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, Focus, obviously now that's out of the way, Focus is now back on the rumored release of the DJI Mavic 3.
Ooh.
There's a Brazilian content creator, Drone Modelismo, who's an awesome guy, and hi if you're watching. He's released a video showing renderings, which he claims are actually from photos of the drone. So essentially he's got hold of some photos of the Mavic 3 and created some artistic renderings of them, because they're not allowed to release the actual photographs. Now, although these specs are, of course, still only rumored, if it's true, it would appear that the Mavic 3 is actually coming along the line nicely. If they're starting to be out there in the leak world, as it were, and this will obviously be the first consumer drone release, which actually uses a multi-lens camera similar to a smartphone, which I'm not sure how I feel about, but we'll have to. DJI tend to get it right, so
Well, look, whatever
we'll have
it
to
is,
see what happens.
Whatever it is, it's going to be light years ahead of the previous version, and your previous version is just going to be worthless. You're not even going to want it. You'll be embarrassed if you fly that old thing out in public, because everybody's going to see you and like, oh, he doesn't have the latest and greatest. What kind of a pilot can he be? Because I mean,
right.
that's the mentality of a lot of people. Like, oh well, I'm going to buy this new thing that's better and more expensive. It's going to make me a better pilot. No, it's not. Practice will.
Exactly.
No, that's not true. That's not. It's always not. The more expensive the equipment, the better you're going to be at
I'm
it.
sorry, I misspoke. You're right. It's not practice. It's not. I mean, it's not like you take a great pilot and give him a Phantom 2 and he's just going to make crap with it. He's got to have the most expensive thing. You're right. I'm sorry. My bad. Back to you in the news.
So as far as release, obviously with things like Chipageddon going on at the moment and the chip shortage, I don't think it's going to be any time soon. Whether or not we see a Mini 3 first, maybe, or something, who knows? I think the release schedule is completely out of whack, which is the whole reason why we ended up seeing a DJI Mini SE, so that they could bring in a little bit more revenue. Which brings us on to our next story, because it appears that other drone manufacturers are kind of listening to DJI and obviously watching them. So more on drone releases, and Hubsan have followed up on their Xeno Mini Pro release, which was average, has to be said, with the announcement of an SE version. Now, the model insignia, as I was saying, was first seen on the DJI Mini SE, and just shows how much the others are following their lead. Many have been disappointed with the main Pro release, citing camera issues and withheld launch specifications. So essentially, the spec promised wasn't on the drone at launch. It's interesting to see them announce an SE product with reduced specification, especially when it seems that they haven't really caught up with the orders for the main drone yet. So it's an interesting one, and it's going to be a very interesting few weeks to see how it plays out.
And they're claiming what, 45 minutes of flight time?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How much flight time do we really need? Like what?
I need at least an hour and 26 minutes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because then you'll run out of SD card space.
Exactly.
right? I mean,
Well, but that only works if you start recording the minute you take off and you don't stop recording until you come and land, and then you sort through that hour and 26 minutes of footage later.
and by the way, you
For
should
the
do
one
that.
good shot that you got.
You should do that really most of the time. Just leave it recording if you can, because you never know what's going to happen, unless you're on a job and you know what you're wanting to film, like you.
True.
But yeah, I mean, it would do. There's going to come a time where graphene battery technology, some kind of magic crystal technology that we don't even know about, that will come along, and it'll be like 2-hour flight time. And okay, at that point we're like, oh, good. Well, all right, you know.
I'm just waiting for the drone that just runs off the moisture in the air or something, like a hydrogen fuel cell that it just sucks in water out of the air and creates its own fuel.
Yeah. And one day we'll be able to fly anywhere with 5G and no connectivity issues. You know, this is still the Wild West.
It is.
Still the Wild West. Yep. Anyway, all right.
Well, up next we have another release, the V-Copter from 00. Has been an interesting concept. This is obviously by the name, this is the two-arm, two-motor drone concept, which has suffered from project drift and holdups, with many speculating it might even end up being pulled completely. However, it seems that 00 are at least launching the product in China today. The drone only uses two motors, and as the name suggests, it is just down to two arms, as you can see in this promotional video. Now, the dramatic spec claims again here, including a 50-minute flight time, which would be quite impressive with just the two motors. It will have to be taken with hopeful skepticism, I think, until we see the drone in the hands of some reliable and trusted reviewers. But it's interesting to see it get essentially what is a local release.
Is it gimmicky? I mean, it's shocking to look at just because we're used to 4 props on stuff. And
yeah, I think I struggle with it slightly because of the way they dealt with the whole release, where they took a lot of pre-orders and then, you know, didn't really give people information, so people ended up having to get lots of refunds, and it was very, very messy. So when I see the drone, I kind of think of that campaign and how they put things together. But you know, if it works, of course it would be fantastic. I just struggle to see how, you know, if there's a bit of wind and that type of thing, then even your sort of Air 2S's and your Minis start to have a little bit of stability issue. I'm not sure whether that whole pendular effect of the motors up here and all the body down here.
I get worried because there's more things that can go wrong. They showed it
exactly right
briefly in there with all the mechanisms and the cogs. You know, one of those gets out of the
whole motor tilting mechanism in there and stuff. That terrifies me.
Yeah, just because, and I say this all the time with technology, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly.
But it's still kind of cool, and people will buy it, I guess. But man, oh man, can you imagine crashing that thing? Because then you're gonna need a motor, then you're gonna need the mechanism, then the arm. You know, it'll be a lot more expensive to crash, and they will crash it. But anyway, I digress.
You do indeed.
Yes.
The USV acronym is not one. Sorry, I'm actually trolling the host there. Apologies. The USV acronym is not one we're used to as much as UAV, but this footage of the US Navy's unmanned surface vessel, or USV, might make you actually remember it in the long term. The drone ship forms part of what is called. Are you waiting? This is an incredible program name. Ghost Fleet Overlord. Is that not cool?
Okay, they've got a millennial naming these things now. Yeah, because it sounds like a video game, right?
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol. It's a Ghost Protocol, man.
This particular footage shows the vessel firing an SM-6 missile using an experimental launcher. The program is intended to explore the capabilities of drone warships and how they operate in the real-world scenario. So this is a real-world test to see if all of their calculations are correct. And it's pretty scary to think that, you know, the future of war is going to be drone on drone on drone on drone.
Oh yeah, I mean unmanned stuff. You know, it's less expensive to the. Oh, there's the train. Thanks, train. I scheduled the train that goes half a block from my house to not happen during the show, but they didn't get the memo this time, but that's all right. But yeah, man, hey, the more autonomy, the better. You know, the cheaper the cost on humanity, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, eventually we're gonna run out of stuff, aren't we? Or will there be, when Boston Robotics perfects their T1000 eventually, or I guess it would be the T200 first. You know, they've got to go through a few iterations before they get up there to the liquidy
It'll
guy.
take them a few steps to get to the 1000.
Right, but I see those Boston Robotic things dancing around. Like, oh hell, I might see a Terminator in my lifetime. Okay. But, all right, I love technology. Love it. That's why we're all here, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, up next, we have another stunning example of man interacting with marine life, captured in a way that only a drone can do. The unique footage shot over the Bay of Puerto Madryn along Argentina's coast shows a southern right whale, which is actually the species, getting up close and personal with the photographer Maxie Jones. Now, interestingly, in an interview with Telem, Jonas actually tells the paper that there is a provincial law prohibiting contact with this type of marine life, such as the whales, but it doesn't mention anything about the whales coming to see you, of course.
Right. Hey, I was just standing there. I didn't go to the whale. The whale came to me.
Yeah, and it actually goes across on its side here, which is pretty cool. And it does, you know, when I first saw this story of a whale playing with someone in the water, I thought, yeah, he's trying to eat him or something. He's trying to check out if he can eat him or kill him.
He wants somebody to take that paddle and scratch his belly. That's what he wants.
Yeah, but actually, the mannerisms and the way it's swimming, it does kind of look like it's having a little play with him. It went on his side, which is quite exposing a lot of its sort of underbelly, etc. And yeah, it's really cool. Amazing drone footage, though. This guy is a professional photographer, and he has got some other cool stuff in his time, but he does place this right at the top of the things that he's captured.
That's so cool to see this. I've never seen a whale in person. I guess, Jake, you have, right?
Oh yeah, quite a few.
What is it like? What kind of whales have you seen up there in Alaska?
I've seen orcas, or more commonly known as killer whales.
Yeah.
I've seen humpback whales, very close to humpback whales, and those things are gigantic when you get close to them. I was kayaking in June this year, and a bunch of little porpoises, which are, I say little, they're still 6 feet big, long, all came up right next to the kayak, and we're all just kind of bopping along.
Oh, that's cool.
Minke whales, which are another filter feeder whale. They look like miniature blue whales. And
so you've seen a lot of whales.
I've seen a lot of whales. Yeah.
Wow. You've probably seen
and
two.
It's always cool to see them every single time. It's like, it's amazing to see a creature that big and just how they interact with the environment and the stuff they do. It's really
Do they
cool.
ever get near calving glaciers? Or do they know better? I guess they can hear all that cracking underwater, right?
Oh yeah. They keep a pretty good distance away. Partly because they're usually just chasing their food, the krill or whatever they're eating, the herring, or in the case of killer whales, the salmon. And so generally there's not a lot around there. The only thing the orcas will do is go into like the debris field of glaciers where the icebergs are all sitting out there, and they'll team up and hit an iceberg with a wave so that it'll wash seals off or knock the seal off the iceberg so they can get it.
They're
super
man.
intelligent, and they're actually quite terrifying as a predator because they're incredibly intelligent and they work really well together. But thankfully, we're not on their menu. So
man, it would suck to be a seal. I mean, you got the polar bears and everything's. They're just. What do seals do? I mean, they're lunch. That's what they are. Seals. Anyway, all right. Sorry, Sean. We got off on a tangent there. Go ahead.
Sidetracked on whales. I thought we were talking about my ex there for a minute.
Oh, dear.
Whoa.
Oh.
I thought you were going to, when he kept talking about whales and the size of the whale, I thought the Ken Heron comedy would kick in. So I thought I had to step up. So,
thanks.
Okay. Next story. Could this be the tech which actually extends the tennis career of our very own Kelly Green into his twilight years?
Oh.
Anyone for badminton? Researchers at the University of Tsukuba in Japan have developed a way of allowing the visually impaired to take part in the sport of badminton. Using a tello drone, which of course could be coded in so many ways to do so much, and placing it within a cage, the players then use a specially created racket, which includes sensors, allowing the drone to be sent back across the court to the opponent. The smart rackets have no strings, as you would hope, because otherwise that would end badly, and instead use sensors which detect the tello flying inside the hoop, and then those sensors then tell the drone to go back across, which is pretty clever. Whilst researching the issue, they found that many visually impaired players of the sport found the game to be too fast-paced. Therefore, this slower version and audio-focused gameplay helped them to at least participate, which I think is great. I mean, it seems to me this is the kind of thing that actually researchers do, and obviously it's doing something great because it's helping visually impaired people enjoy sport that they've played for years, but you often find other things will get sort of spurred out of it, if that makes sense.
Okay, good, because I was just going to say, how many people hard of seeing or not want to play badminton? I mean, it's right in the name, bad. I mean, I can't remember the last time I played badminton, but sure, this has to be somebody's research project for college or something, because I don't see any real use of it.
It's a university research project. So
okay.
Yeah, and as I say, I think with these things, there's always what happens next. So that guy then goes on to be an Elon Musk or something, or takes those innovations and they actually find something completely irrelevant to badminton or sport whatsoever. I don't know. They find that
using
a new innovation for an elevator,
using that technology. But let me say this: I've had friends who were blind, and I had one friend that was born blind. So this badminton thing would be for people who remember seeing, because
yes,
if you're born blind, you have no reference of memory of what a ball does when you hit. You know what I mean? Like it would be easier for someone who remembers seeing to do something like that.
Yes,
it's unfortunate that Kelly Green isn't in the chat right now, because Sean did say at the beginning it's for people like Kelly Green who, in their twilight years, can still play badminton.
Yeah,
right.
They might struggle.
Right. I'll have some video. He's actually, I think he's in Bowling Green for a championship, so he might win the state championship. And I'll have some video of him and his. He hangs his racket on his walker. He's in the he's in the over 50 league. So I tease because I love. Back to you in the newsroom.
Okay, now when you're looking at anything, you can really claim it's a world's first. You get these weird things, don't you, where it's like, this is a world's first, but sometimes you have to assess whether or not it's a world first because no one's been crazy enough to try it, frankly. Mm-hmm. And YouTuber and paramotor expert Greg Anthony Harris has performed the first air-to-air delivery of fast food. It's actually from a popular UK chain called Greg's. So there you go. They went and got their little sausage roll. Now, this seems like something crazy to try, but the exercise was actually developed by Greg as part of his efforts to help paramotor users and drone pilots, of which he is both, to understand the potential dangers of sharing the airspace and help each other to make it a safer process.
Because the whole video. The whole video is a cautionary tale. And a demonstration of what not to do, but yeah, we did it. So the guy flying the drone is not your cousin Skippy. It's a world-class FPV drone pilot.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Please don't do this. But it was cool to see that it could be done. But don't do that. Don't do that. And the rest of the video is very informative.
Also, don't go out and just fly around paramotor. People who are paramotoring or parasailing around.
No.
You just don't do that
stuff.
No.
Yeah, no, I would recommend wholeheartedly watching the whole video, because literally that is the clicky bit to get people to go watch it, which is great because lots of drone people are like, oh, I'm going to go watch that. And then he does actually demonstrate. He actually gets the sails and flies FPV drones into them at full speed to show the damage it could cause. And it really came about because he is a professional FPV pilot and, as I say, a paramotor expert. And he was getting some great footage one day flying these FPV drones around them. And he thought to himself, actually, if these things did connect, there could be a lot of trouble here. So that was actually the whole reason behind that.
Yeah, there's some high speed
heart of the cool video.
There's some high speed camera footage of what happens when a drone hits a paramotor carbon fiber blade.
Pretty.
It's not pretty, and it's very expensive and dangerous. So don't do it. But yes. All right, let's endeavor to get through the rest of the news quickly, because our very special guest Josh Bixler is no doubt standing by and waiting for us to stop that. Yes,
well,
I'm being told by
the imaginary producer's telling me we have only 3 more stories left.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so EHang are at it again. This again is a story which Jeff covers often, with beyond visual line of sight trials to allow their passenger aircraft to defeat traffic issues around airports. Now, essentially what will happen is people will be able to take the EHang craft from, I don't know, let's say you're flying from JFK, you'll be able to fly from sort of downtown Manhattan at a particular port area, heliport, and fly across to the airport to catch your flight rather than clogging up the area with vehicle traffic. Now, the trial was made possible by special permission of the Estonian Transport Administration, and it demonstrated how manned and unmanned can actually share the airspace using U-Space UTM. Pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, but I'm going to wait until a few people ride this thing before I get on it. I mean, it looks like they put a lot. I mean, it is. EHang is, of all the these things, this is probably the one that I would ride, but you know, as well as anybody else in the aviation world, people usually have to get hurt or die with regular aircraft before they change or update anything. So I'm going to wait until version 2.0 at least.
Exactly. And you have to worry about getting out of those with the props below.
Right.
You know,
yeah. There's not
any
going
kind
to be
of emergency situation. You've got to jump out quickly.
Yeah. There's not going to be.
Oh, my legs.
There's going to be an inflatable slide that pops out.
Yeah. Oh, you would hope so.
With a Kevlar bottom.
Upside down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, up next, and Oklahoma police recently deployed a drone to successfully locate a suspect, which is a first for the department.
That officers had got into. Subject had bailed out of a vehicle. They believed that he might be armed. They advised that the suspect had went down into a drainage ditch. So it was a steep embankment that both, it was rocky, so it was difficult ingress and egress out. There was little cover or concealment for officers to go down there and try to apprehend the suspect. So whenever they contacted me, they asked me if I could deploy the drone, and I did. And in doing so, our drone has different attachments that you can utilize for certain situations. One has a loudspeaker to give commands to a suspect. Another one has a spotlight, and the other one provides a strobe function. With that too, it's got a built-in thermal imaging system. So I was able to attach my spotlight to it, and I was able to hover down almost at an eye level and spot the suspect inside the canal. And in doing so, officers and I were able to give him commands, and he was able to surrender peacefully without us having to take any type of force.
Wow. Is there a dumbass uniform? Is that worldwide? Do they wear wife beater shirts in the UK? Criminal idiots.
Not really. No.
No.
It's more sort of tracksuits here.
Oh, tracksuits. Yeah. Well, you have to be comfortable when you're being cuffed and stuffed, exactly. I guess. Yeah. Well, Sean, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go to Betty bye now.
Thank you very much. Get well soon, Jeff. We love you.
All right, man.
Thanks for stopping by. Now get out.
Ah, yes. Gotta love that Sean.
Oh, man. He's such a cool dude.
And now here is Jake Sloan with the first hilariously funny joke of the evening.
Did you know that most Alaskans don't keep their money in those greedy banks?
No, I didn't know that.
We keep our money in Fairbanks.
Oh, God. That's pretty good. I just got a new warning that I've never seen before on the stream. It says, this is from YouTube. Warning, heads up, we've detected copyrighted audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked.
What?
That's a bunch of what I like to call boo pucket.
Oh, should I not have, I pre-claimed all the video I sent you to play today. I just went ahead and claimed it already, just in case. Should I not have done that?
I'm sure it was the whale thing. It's always the whale video. And then I'll get a notice from, sorry, your 2.5 hour stream was effed up by 10 seconds of whale video. Thanks, YouTube, you schmucks. Hopefully everybody can still see what we're doing because we have a very important guest and we need to bring him on right now. So stand by as we get one more joke from Jake the Snake, and I'll bring in Josh Bixler.
All right. So this one if you live way north, you'll get this. If you don't, I'll explain it after maybe.
Okay.
But the Alaska State Police called the other day, and they were asking where I was from the night of November 14th to February 12th.
Okay. You got some wacky calendar days up there, don't you? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I get it only because you prefaced it with that. And
Yeah, so if you don't know, in Alaska, there are parts of Alaska where the sun will set in November, and it won't come back up until February sometime.
Right.
That's what happens in the wintertime up here.
Right. So we're waiting on Josh. It's we're calling him. And all right. I will tell you that speaking of Alaska, we're gonna play a game later on.
Ooh.
Where people can win fabulous prizes, including a GPC SD card holder and Freewell filters from freewellgear.com.
That GPC SD card holder, I have one. It's a different brand, but it's the same thing. This thing is amazing. I use it. It's always in my case, and it's just such a great way to organize a whole bunch of little mini micro SD cards.
Because where else are you going to put them? You're going to put them in your ring pocket in your jeans and break it, aren't you? I mean,
exactly. And people don't know that, but these things are not that strong. They'll snap in half super easy. And so having a little case like this to keep them safe and organized is really nice.
Yeah. Thanks, GPC. So I don't know what part of the country Josh is in, but I'm in central United States, and so. Oh wait!
Oh boy!
Here he is.
Hey!
Hey! There he is. I think he's here.
I'm here.
He's there. He is. Hey!
Literally trying to plug in my phone at the time you called, and I turned you off.
Oh, that's all right.
So, build phone port models, but I can't work a phone.
Excellent. Hey, Josh Bixler, welcome
How
to
are
the
you,
show.
brother? Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Now, before we go any further, you are the largest YouTuber that I've ever had on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Quickly how overrated I am.
Yeah. Oh, you're so overrated, but you're such a nice guy that I put together a jingle that I only use for big, huge YouTubers. I think the only other one I used it on was the history guy. I had him on.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
Okay, I'm ready.
Here's your big intro.
We're gonna talk with a big YouTuber. They'll have advice for me and you, Burr. Good information that will imbibe. Just make sure that you like and subscribe. Click that bell.
Wow.
Get ready for Big Tuber time.
Hey, it's Big Tuber, Josh Bixler.
I have never got an introduction like that in my life. What an honor. Wow.
Well, we're honored.
Nobody's given me that before. Now you just set the bar up higher. I'm going to put that in my rider.
You got it, man. Well, you've got a rider. So
No, I really don't.
Big, huge.
He has blue M&Ms within 5 feet of him at all times.
Big, huge fan of you and your work and just your love of aviation. And I thank you very much for all that you do. I actually met you digitally for the first time in the FAA roundtable a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And
that's a lot of fun.
it is a lot of fun. I didn't know what to expect, but there's a lot of very familiar faces in there, and you're all doing great work, and I'm so proud to be a part of that.
Well, man, it's great. You bring a lot of heart to it, and out of all the different roundtables I've gotten to be part of, this is one that's I look forward to every time because it's just a lot of people with a lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of good ideas too. I think that's probably one thing you noticed was how many people really were forthcoming with ideas, and I hope they continue on. I think it's going to lead in something very positive.
Well, let me apologize in advance because I will have a few stinkers that I'll throw out there. I'll see what sticks.
Yeah.
I'll throw a few stinkers out there, but mostly good ideas.
I don't believe that for a second. I'm happy you're part of the team. It's the way, honestly, most of these things should run. I've been in a part of a couple other talks, and sometimes I feel like it's the bar scene at Star Wars. It's just like, what is going on here?
It's kind of wacky.
It is.
So, Flite Test, your YouTube channel, and there's a link in the description. I urge everybody to subscribe because certainly we can push you over the edge. You're very close to 2 million subscribers. We can get that done. We can get that done tonight.
Look at that
I
close.
think this is the moment. Well, and here's the thing. People don't believe when I say this, but I'm going to say this a lot of time. whether we had 100,000 people on our subscribership or 2 million, at the end of the day, they're family. And I want to make sure that whatever we grow, that we can basically meet their needs. We can grow the hobby. We can connect with where they are. We can make them feel loved. And I know that 2 million's coming. But thank goodness, like, that aspect is not our identity. It's what we do within people's lives, what we do within the hobby is really the measure of what Flite Test is doing. And I love this ride, man. I remember when we were walking, I was at this event called Ackley Men Conference. It was really cool. But we had the same number of subscribers that we did. It was 12,000. I remember having to walk by 12,000 people, and then you quickly realize how many people that is. It's like, good Lord, I'm so thankful just to have these people in my life. And to fast forward almost 10 years now to go to 2 million, it's even more humbling to see where that's going. But also, I want to convert these people. I want them to be hobbyists. And that's where the real challenge is, and where I'm really also very excited to take that on.
By the way, if there's anybody in the chat that has any questions for Josh, please put them in there, and Jake, you'll let me know about that, because my old eyes, for some reason, I can only see the super chats. but
You know what's funny? I keep on moving my head over because I see like this little square. I feel like the thing. It's like, here I am. There I go.
Oh.
I hope I'm not screwing up the format for you guys.
No, man.
I'm sorry for seeing my shoulder.
No, man, it's great. Now, I really appreciate everybody on your channel that you're involved with has an inherent love for RC and the hobby, fixed wing, whatever it is. So, do you do what I do? Like, everywhere you go, you just want people to experience it, right?
Oh yeah. Well, today was special. Like, we had to race home. My wife was on me because she knew about this tonight. She's like, you got to get home. We had kids, because school's in session, but because we're at a golf course, there was a golf game going on with schools, and there were kids everywhere. And I was snagging them left and right. And I look over, and you probably know Wes Blue Jay, just a phenomenal guy. He's part of our team. He's out there working with the kids and stuff. We had so many kids all around. Even when our team can go home, they choose to stay and to continue to fly and work and stuff. And it was a special evening. We probably got 15, 20 kids flying today.
You can see it, and you can see it in their face. Like, it's almost life-changing when they can fly, or they're interested in what you're building, or it's great to influence kids like that. But you know what?
It's like, what's that?
I was just going to share something with you. I like to put FPV goggles on adults wherever I go. I bring a spare set with me, and I happen to be going to Chicago in my lovely car, and my lovely car broke down. I had to call a flatbed to tow it 5 hours to Chicago because I had no choice. But Larry was the nicest, most accommodating flatbed tow truck driver, and so we pulled over in a rest stop, and I did what I'm sure you would do, Josh. I took him for a ride in the goggles, and I have never seen a more visceral reaction from anyone that I've put the goggles on. I'm going to share, and you can see it when he's like, oh my God, I'm going to do this. My life has changed from this moment at the rest stop with this stranger's car on my flatbed. Here it is. This is Larry becoming an FPV lover. Check this out.
See yourself? Yeah. Okay. Trying to pick this piece up so I can.
Right, you can hold it. Okay. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh hell.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It even makes you like want to turn your head with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Oh man, I gotta take it off. That's gonna make me dizzy.
Is it gonna get dizzy?
Yeah.
You can't watch anymore? Are you in there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay.
But yeah, it's getting me to lean.
How about if we do...
Yep, nope.
Can you stand that? Are you okay? Are you in there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm watching. It's just...
All right, don't chicken out.
I might have to.
How about...
Yep, nope. I can't do it, man.
All right, I won't do any more flips.
That's awesome.
Go back in there. I'm going to fly into your truck for you.
All right, let's see.
I'll just fly it nice and gently. Okay?
So now, how long does it take realistically to get control of something like that and not
a lot of time. Yeah. See?
That is awesome.
And I'll fly around us in the car. Oh, there's my car. That's nice.
Right.
So, you want to do one more flip?
I
Can you
don't
handle
know.
it? One more flip?
All right, flip it real quick. Yep, nope. That just instantly makes my eyes flip out. But it is awesome, though, that, I mean, it is extremely, like, where'd it go?
Yeah, it is awesome. This is the closest that humans can come right now to actually flying like a bird.
On a dead serious note, without the goggles, I want to step off to the side and watch that go underneath the truck.
Oh yeah, okay, we can do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna set these down.
Okay.
Because I'm Curious George.
All right.
It looked like it went through so smooth.
Well,
I mean, like, beautifully smooth.
I hope I can do it again.
Okay, send it. That is insane power.
Yeah. And that was all he could talk about. The whole rest of the ride to Chicago, we had these walkie-talkies. He's like, where do I get one? How much does it cost? How long does it? Where do I get the goggles? What's your phone number? We got to be friends now. I've put the goggles on a lot of people, and they're like, yeah, that's cool, or I'm sick, but I love creating fans of the hobby like this.
That guy have his own YouTube channel. I'd watch that in a heartbeat. He seems awesome.
He is pretty awesome. Yeah. Jake, we got any questions from the audience?
Yeah, we did get one. Southern Illinois Aerial asks, how long did it take you to complete the build for the A-10 versus tank aerial battle?
And I have video from that I'll roll. That's the A-10 seems to be one of our more popular vehicles. Go ahead and talk about that while I share this.
Okay, that video was a summer project, and I kid you not. We have an awesome intern team member named Andrews Liu, and Andrews actually came from the time he was 16, worked all the way through high school, and we even got him 1 year of college when COVID hit. And his one project was specifically design the A-10. He worked all the way through the summer, designed it, and then he had to go back to school, so we had to put together what he designed. So that plane was literally the whole summer of design, and then we built it in the small version, and then we built it in the big version, and then ultimately it came. So that's what you see there was about 6 months of work. And I don't know if you saw in the video, but the first one we built, I destroyed in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I
saw
that one.
Right at the top of the trees. And what killed it was we didn't realize the DJI Mavic put out a signal that could step on the FPV signal.
Oh, right.
And it was not pretty.
Is your FPV pilot digital or analog getting this?
This was all analog back in the day.
Oh,
we actually were using, if you look at the front very carefully, you'll see an FXT 805 camera. That's what we ended up doing the whole shoot off of. There's a little FXT 805 on there. Now that tank was fun too, because the tank actually came from while they were prepping for the second part of it, I was running in my office designing the next piece, building it in small scale, and then once I knew it worked, we blew it up really big. And it was really funny. Like literally run out, test fit a piece. Okay, that works. We have a pattern. We run back in. We blow it up really big. They'd start building. So we had Jeremy, Matthew, Alex, Stefan. Oh my gosh, the whole entire team just really hunking down on that thing. And I love the A-10 flying. The flying tank to me is probably today one of my favorite videos, just because it was just so symbolic. It was a shift. It was the first time I got to hang out with John Overstreet, who's now a partner. And the way the sun just opened up on it was incredible. That plane, by the way, is still around. It's hanging in Stefan's office.
Oh, wow. And it looks like tracer rounds with the airsoft stuff. That's really, really amazing.
Yeah, we took a P90 airsoft gun. We put a UV LED twist on, I guess, nose to the barrel, and a special BB, and it made them fully, act like tracers.
Wow. Now, Jake, I think you were gonna you did make a point. You said this is one of your favorite videos. Jake, were you gonna ask a question about favorite videos?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
As a fellow but considerably smaller YouTuber, I'm always curious. what your favorite video is versus what like gets the most views. Because for me, my favorite video is certainly not one of the higher viewed videos on there, but I just love it because I think it's awesome. As opposed to like my highest viewed video, which is, I still like that video too, but it's not my favorite. So I was curious about that for you.
Oh my golly. Well, and I kind of hinted at it. First of all, they're all my favorites. I think you probably feel the same. There's something special about every video that you take, and it's like really near. And when you think about that, you only remember that one real spot real clearly. By the way, when we're done, I want to hear about your favorite video. But for me, it was probably making the tank fly. We hit the 1 million subscribers. We had to make that happen. Edgewater was just recently purchased, so that was one of the first videos we were actually doing from Edgewater, and it was a rough go. Like, we had to make this tank fly, and we made it in smaller version, but the science wasn't saying it was definitely going to work. And then the weather was terrible, and then all of a sudden we get out there, and we decided to move where we're going to launch it from, and the plane just flew great. And then all of a sudden the sun just exploded. And there's a dear friend of mine, like I said earlier, John Overstreet, and his family. They were all out together, and the whole team had some point of building that airplane together. So, there was wings, there was the main body, there was the electronics. Everybody had a hand in making that episode a success. And when that happened, everyone got the win. And it was just kind of like, okay, this is a new chapter. This is what it's going to look like to dream big and do big at Edgewater. This is what we're going to be able to do regularly. And also we're going to be able to do it with friends and family. So for me, that was probably one of the most impactful ones. Now, just recently, the B-17 that we did where we shot apples through it, that one's on a whole high note because we had a storm like nothing else. And we had this 15-minute window. And then after that was going to Tennessee with my family. And we got to meet up with Terry. And this good old boy with his apple cannon was lethal. And he blew more holes than that B-17. And to see this thing flying apart in midair and not come down, it's just like, this is like history being recreated. But instead of flak and these amazing warriors that were flying in these airplanes, it's just foam board. But the way it behaved and stuff was just incredible. So, yeah, I guess I gave you two, but I cheat.
What's
now I want to hear about yours.
Oh, yeah, Jake.
Okay. Well, my favorite is, and I'll make this fast, I was sent a lens to review, and so I thought it'd be great to try and get some wildlife. So I hiked 25 miles into the wilderness and camped for 3 days, and I saw no wildlife at all. And so then I hiked 25 miles back out, and I went down and kayaked around the ocean, saw some wildlife down there, some whales and stuff, which made for some really good content. But then what made it my favorite was I got two of my friends with two bush planes, and we chased each other, and I shot everything air to air with the lens. And we just came away with some incredible photos of these two planes flying in, because I'm in Alaska, flying in front of glaciers and around all these mountain peaks and stuff like that. So that's my favorite video. Just overall, I'd say, just because of the journey and all of the things that, obstacles. A lot of people go, like you're saying, where you have time limits or weather or something's coming in and it's going to really push you. In a lot of ways, I think those things really do add to the video itself because it adds to the story. It adds to the conflict of you trying to get this thing together before everything falls apart or something happens where it just doesn't work. So, yeah, that's my favorite video I think that I've made so far.
I love it, man.
Josh, what do you fly these days for fun? Do you fly for fun anymore? Or you just... I mean, if you work in a pizza shop, eventually you get tired of pizza. You're not tired of pizza, are you?
No, and I wish I had a pizza shop because I could eat more pizza. So, yeah, what do I fly for fun? I do a lot of training, and so I'm kind of cheating again because I can't get myself to go out and say, I'm going to go ahead and fly a pack and stuff. And but what I love to do is I have this plane, a Simple Scout, and I love taking that thing out. So any chance I get, I'll pull that sucker out. And then there's almost always a kid around to kind of rope in. Just like you always have a set of goggles. Yeah. That's kind of my go-to. But I always go to my Simple Scout, and then the secondary one is my Sea Duck, which you can kind of just do anything with, and people love tailspin, so it's fun. Now, do you guys know I fly in real life too, right?
Oh, yeah. You're a man pilot as well, yeah.
So I go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I love flying the paramotors. Unfortunately, I got a paramotor, and then my son, who's now 17, he learned at 14. And we get to fly together all the time. And then we'll also go out, and I have a little ultralight Aerolite 103, and then I'm finishing off my private rating with an Aranca. So if my back is sore and my legs are tired, I jump in the ultralight. If I'm feeling strong and mighty, I'll throw the paramotor on my back and run into the sky. So it's a lot of fun, and I really want to get my private. I've sold it at 16, and I've always flown with my dad. I've always flown with family, so I never had the drive to fly alone. It's like, well, why would I want to do that? Well, then you realize when you have kids and you can't take them for a flight, that's why you should have done it. So
right.
That's currently what we're doing, and any chance I can get, especially during the fall now, to get above that and see it, I'm there.
Jake, keep an eye on those questions, by the way.
I did see one question going through asking how much money you make at 1 million subscribers.
Oh,
and up,
lordy lord,
which-
that's kind of you don't have to answer that.
It's that kind of question that's like, so there's a whole bunch of variables in that particular response that are different for every single person,
well,
and
I think
it really
you'd agree
doesn't matter.
that you can have 10 subscribers in one video that gets watched 50 million times. So it's all about the views.
I don't mind answering that. Not as much as you think.
Okay. That's right. I mean, that's very true. That's very true. I mean, at least I can say that. But that's why, you sell products and other things. You have to diversify.
Yeah, and that's honestly, we do flight tests for an outreach, but we also do run it as a business, and you can't do good things if you don't have the resources to do them. So I definitely don't apologize about that, and I want to see flight tests grow financially, successfully, impact everything. But diversification is important. Like I tell people, hey, I want to be a YouTuber. I'm like, that's great. How are you going to go ahead and affect people's lives? What is the solution you're going to solve? And how are you going to market that outside of YouTube? Because, for us, it's relation building. We do it through model aviation. The hurdles that people have to overcome, expense, time, difficulty, space, size, all those are addressed in our kits. And then we can give people the choice to download the free plans, or we can give them the choice to buy a speedboat kit if time is more of a premium for them. So that diversification is good. The YouTube alone, I wouldn't wake up in the morning dreaming of just being a YouTuber. It's important to be able to have adjacencies. And now, my number one passion for that is in STEM.
What is your most rewarding experience from all of this wonderfulness that you're doing with your company and YouTube?
Oh my goodness. Seeing the family building. We started Flite Test before Flite Test existed. It was actually an outreach ministry fully focused on getting families to connect with each other. So I'd see a dad that wasn't connected with his kids, and a mom that wasn't connected with the dad. So the biggest reward I see is we could take this simple hobby and we can get it into the family's life as a whole. And you see suddenly dad engaging and encouraging the kids. You see the kids having fun, re-engaging with their parents. And you see mom re-engaging with dad because dad's connected to the family. The whole family's made whole again. So that is by far the number one thing. Flight and model aviation is a lifestyle. And it can be in a single person, or it can be in the whole entire family. And what I really love seeing is the whole entire family adopting it. And the DIY aspect really helps kind of foster that immensely. And I'm sure with you guys with the drones, it's very similar too, because you go out there and you're building them, you're crashing them, you're laughing, you're trying crazy antics, and it really, people can choose to connect through the hobby or they can escape through the hobby. We really want to promote connecting through the hobby, and so obviously you can see I focus back on the one thing. The flight aspect is a passion, but it's also a tool for me.
Oh, absolutely, and I know for a fact that the hobby, RC hobby as a whole, has saved lives, saved sanity of people, and you are very fortunate that you get to travel around the world pretty much, and meet so many people in different cultures that are doing the same thing that we're doing here in the United States. Different people have different political views and everything, but we all have this one cohesive thing that brings us together, and it really does. In my teeny tiny compared to yours YouTube world, I have friends all over the world, and it really shrinks it for me. And that's the thing for me is community for me that really makes it the best thing.
You nailed it. It's kind of funny. Like, you can debate someone and be right, but you can lose that friendship and you can lose that relationship. We have a saying in the team, build a bridge of trust that can bear the weight of truth. And you cannot influence a person, you cannot connect with a person if you do not have a bridge that shows that you're invested, that you love them, and that you're engaging them where they're at. Now, if I walked up to a stranger and be like, man, I want to be your best friend, I don't care who it is, I would run the other way. That's weird. I mean, you don't do that.
It's weird.
But you could take the silly, foam board airplane and be like, hey, you want to fly this? next thing you know, you're busting up laughing, you're connecting with the person, and in this time, with all the volatility with politics and every aspect where people can now have 30, 40 points, shown on social media, and it's like, I don't like these points, that person's not my friend. You can override all that and bypass all that by a simple activity like model aviation. And for the kids especially, it's crazy how you can give them a common, simple hobby that can actually give them a career path. And that's incredible. I mean, I wish I had that understanding and grasp, because I would have treated school a whole lot different if I had a passion towards where I wanted to go. I didn't get that until I got out of college and stuff, and I realized, holy cow, I could take all the things I enjoy doing in life and make a living off of it. Kids need to learn that like in third, second grade, start looking for their passion and trying things. And what's really cool is the parents, the second they see that passion, they feed it big time. And that does something for the whole family unit too. So, it's crazy. I hate the divisiveness, in this world right now, but I love the fact that something as simple as model aviation can kind of be that bridge. And we have them all over the place at Edgewater. Like, you have the most diverse, they're going from tattooed Harley drivers to lawyers jumping out of a car, and everybody gets along, and it's just fantastic.
Isn't it weird like that? Because I'm 55. I've got friends that I hang out with, like when I go to different cities, that are like in their 20s. I would never hang out with, like, know, otherwise, no offense, 20-year-olds, but we've got this drone flying, this aviation thing that we all love as a commonality, and you are a great ambassador for this, and a mentor, and everybody appreciates that. And in my small role as one myself, I take it very seriously. And
there's nothing small about that and stuff. Impact is impact, and I feel blessed to have the platform we do. But I feel like we don't ever want to slide away from all the work being done by everybody as a whole within the industry and within their different passions. It's not I think it's just awesome the way you've connected so many people, and I truly appreciate that, and giving me an opportunity to share too.
Now, I have another video of yours that I have many questions about that I'll share here in just a second. So we're holding people's attention, but I do want to ask you about what you think the future of RC hobby in general is with remote ID and all the other stuff. Where do you think we're going to be in 5-10 years, just generally?
Yeah.
Your opinion on that? I mean, is it going to be super different? Are we going to, I mean, is it a lot of naysayers are saying, the hobby is dead, and then other people are like, don't worry about it. Where do you fall?
Do I get to answer before or after the video?
Right now. Yeah, no, I was just,
okay, perfect.
That's a radio tactic, getting people to listen. Coming up, something awesome. Don't go away.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, first of all, laws are no good if they can't be followed. And when you put too many obstacles in front of somebody, they're not going to be able to approach it or enjoy it or even want to spend the time on it. So, big word of warning, when you start coming up with things like remote ID, the expense, the cost, approachability, if your goal is to kill the hobby and kill everything good about it, and also the end goal of bringing people into professions like pilots, maintenance crews, and everything that aviation needs to frankly keep this country running, you're doing a good job of making it complicated. That being said, I got a beef with remote ID in regards to how approachable and affordable will it be. I'm happy about the fact that with I guess you could say, for lack of better words, the beacon technology, that's probably one of the most economical and affordable and ways to protect privacy. You still got to obey the law, and someone with malice in their heart to do harm is not going to care about that. So
True.
I don't want to get too political, but you're having people, you're expecting the good people to follow when the people that are intending harm are not going to. I think education and influence through bringing people in the hobby through mentorship is far more impactful, and it'll be far more beneficial. You can bookend, I guess, the middle group that maybe got in the hobby through a Best Buy drone and doesn't understand where to fly it and the consequences if they fly in the wrong spot. But if you bring this into schools, if you bring this into families' lives and start teaching them, okay, this is what can happen if you fly in the wrong areas, you're going to be far more impactful through a mentorship relationship versus through, you got to now tie, this beacon to your phone and broadcast, unless you're flying at a FRIA, unless it's over 250 grams or under 250 grams. Complication is going to breed a lack of adhering by it. And so the hobby future is bright. I think we're going to be able to to fix this, but I think the way that they're going by it is not necessarily the healthiest if they really expect people to follow the rules.
Yeah. And on a side note, how about working your arse off to get the night waiver, and then now suddenly everybody gets it just by taking the recurrent test? I mean, that's gotta hurt a little bit. I mean, it did for me.
There's a common theme is just, if you don't understand a weight, it's going to change again. It's kind of frustrating. The things that they announced in Section 349, they're changing before everything's been fully realized. According to that, they're changing it in midstream, and it's like, if you don't understand the laws, if you don't understand the rules, how are you going to follow them? But also, if they keep changing, how are you going to follow them?
That's true. They seem so fluid,
Oh, yeah. It just seems like, oh, okay, this is a thing. Let's go this direction and stuff. I'm happy that the night flight restrictions can go by, but look at all the hurdles, like you said, that people had to jump through. And it's like, oh, well, maybe this is more practical to go this way.
Are they going with practicality? Or there doesn't seem to be any logic behind it. What is driving these changes? Is it money? Is it safety? What is it?
Well, if it's about safety, the whole aspect of how they get people in the flight, the FAA should know this. The whole aspect of how they train people starts with safety. It's a safety-based culture. It's a safety-based lifestyle. So if it's with safety, the way that they're going by it is done completely wrong, because they're trying to answer the safety question with a technology solution. And sometimes I do wonder if that's about the money, where it's like, okay, we got to get all these beacon techs, and you see all these people jockeying to try to be the one person to provide that solution first, so everyone has to buy it from them. What? It's just
it is easy.
Maddening.
It is maddening. It is easy, and I see a few comments. Boo FAA. It's easy to vilify the FAA because they're doing things that maybe you don't agree with, but they're not evil. I mean, they're kind of on your side. They're kind of on everybody's side. And I say this all the time. You cannot legislate common sense. And they're trying to, unfortunately. But I think sometimes the FAA, and maybe you would agree, that they're woefully uninformed about things that us as a community seem to know more about practical things.
Well, and that's one reason why I'm really thankful for the roundtable, is because it has been a really good opportunity to educate, inform, and influence. And just like if we want to, change people's behavior, a mentorship relationship mentality where you can teach people safe operations, you can give people a way to connect with others, to learn that. I think also you gotta educate up to, and that's what the FAA is saying. Okay, we recognize that most of you guys do not have a background in aviation that are charged with this. Most of them have engineering backgrounds. So the way that they're going to attack this is through an engineering mindset with technology. And like, look at all this great stuff. We have GPSs and phones and chips and beacon tech and all these networking solutions all across the country. And I'm sure this will work out great. And then they learn that the average airplane's built for under $100, that weighs less than 2 pounds, and that can carry a disposable weight of less than a half a pound. Okay, and then, by the way, autonomous systems aren't really normal in fixed-wing aircraft, and 80% of model aviation is fixed-wing. And what about the DIYers? And they put a solution in their head that makes sense because of what they perceive. And what we've had a lot of good gains with is just trying to educate them to say, this is not what the hobby is, and this is what the hobby can do for you. You guys, at the same time you're trying to answer the safety issue, why don't you answer also the bigger issue as the pilot shortages, the employee shortages within aviation in general. And they got to realize that model aviation is the breeding ground for their future pilots and their future problems to be solved. And that's done really well for us, but I think it's a message you can't just say one time. You got to say it over and over and over.
Right. It's up to us as the public to change their perception to something positive.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Good people there too. You're right.
Yeah. And we could talk about this for hours and hours, I know. But I want to play this video that did very well for you guys. It was when you went to Germany.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Is it the Germany one from Croatia, the drone?
The manned drone? Yeah, I'm going to play this, and maybe you can talk a little bit about what's going on here for
everybody ready?
The two people that haven't seen this. But this is truly amazing. And tell me also, Josh, would you ride this?
I would, with the pilot that flew it, I would ride it in a heartbeat. Would I be scared and probably sick afterwards? Yeah.
But would you ride it if someone else was controlling it, or would you want to control it yourself? Or could you even with the G-forces in there?
Yeah, that young man that was flying there, I would trust him in a heartbeat. I would not trust myself. And I'm an avid pilot. I've flown aerobatics, but this was nuts.
That is nuts. I remember
There's
seeing
a backstory about this too.
Oh, go ahead. Please tell me.
Okay. So when we originally got there, that plane simply would not yaw. When we had it in the hangar and we were flying, and I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but it was unbelievable how much power it had. And what he's doing there is like the equivalent of like a 250 size quad with the up-to-date motors and no go. It was ridiculously overpowered. And when they could put a person in there, they had to actually put ballast in there to get the proper, performance. Otherwise, it would have been too light. But one of my favorite moments with this was when the plane wouldn't yaw, and I'm, with all the weird things we built over time, I'm like, well, why don't you kick the motors? And they're like, what do you mean kick the motors? And they're like, well, kick the motors, you'll get more of, a yaw effect. Well, next thing you know, the CEO, who's just an incredible human, he's doing all this crazy calculus and numbers, and he's like, it'll work. So we go from all this complicated, algorithms and stuff and checking everything to just literally going out with a ratchet and a wrapping measuring tape and like scratching into the booms, and we're kicking these motors like it was a Versacopter, and we're just tweaking to see what would happen. Wow. And the thing just performed with so much authority. It was incredible. But I didn't know the price point of what it cost to develop this thing until afterwards. And here I am telling people, oh yeah, just kick the motors, it's fine.
How much was it to develop?
Oh man, I know by the end of the project that was up at over $1 million with that. The machine itself obviously was not that, but it was ridiculous, the amount of heart energy. And this guy, he had such a passion for the hobby and a passion to see this, continue to grow. I loved it. And to witness it, to climb inside of it, wow, yeah. I hope this is part of our future someday.
What a privilege to be a part of this. And oh my gosh, is this the future? Will we see this in a decade? Maybe these people getting in and racing them.
You know what? I was wrong about 3D printing airplanes. I was like, there's no way this film is going to get light enough, and here I am flying a different one every week. Right. These things, like, I can't fathom the forces and the nimble and the control you're going to have. But I was at Oshkosh and I saw a black fly go, and I'm like, okay, that's real. That's legit. There's a human in there, and it was incredible to watch. So yeah, my answer is I think it's totally going to be real. Those people that fly them are going to be a lot braver than me. Yeah. But it was awesome. And you mentioned about traveling all over the world. It's kind of crazy how even people from a crazy back area Croatia airport, they're all the same. It's just really funny. They drink funny fluids that you got to be careful about. But make sure you ask what's in there first. But it was really a cool experience, going out there, and that view flying over the water. Wow.
I wouldn't fly a Mavic over the wall. A new one if I was a new pilot. But Jake, we got any more questions coming in?
Yeah. Quadcopters and Tech wanted to know what is kicking the motors. So can you explain what kicking the motors means and why, if you can explain why it gives more yaw authority?
Oh, kicking the motors. Okay. I was like, okay, what is kicking the motors? I realized I said kicking the motors. So yeah. So whenever you have basically props that give out a lot of thrust, but not necessarily a lot of torque, a way to overcome that, and we did it with our Millennium Falcon episode and stuff, is by literally changing the angles of motors. So it's not only giving you more torque, but it's also giving you thrust in the direction that you want to go. So in this case, they had, I think it was 12 motors on there. When we opposed those motors and 2 were spinning up and 2 were spinning down, the ones that were spinning up were actually driving the plane rotationally, so driving it in the yaw direction. And that's what we call kicking the motors. I'm sure there's a really proper, fancy way to say it, but you're just rotating the motors instead of being parallel with the surface of the ground. You're rotating them in an angle that when they speed up, they're gonna rotate you. The other ones are going the opposite way, and boy, you get some pretty sick yaw authority off of it.
Cool. Yeah. How much more time do you have? Or were we keeping you from something?
As much as you want, brother. No,
okay. Because I have another video of yours that I'm curious about. But what do you got coming up on your channel that you're working on? What kind of wacky adventures do you have coming up?
So, mention the B-17. We've gotten to be fortunate. We're collaborating with Peter a lot more, Peter Schriepel, and he was a former team member, just an amazing guy. Mention that B-17. I've always wanted to build a B-17, and now that we got the bigger one, the 12-foot one, we built it in raw form to see if it flies. Then we went ahead and painted it and shot apples through it. This next episode, Peter did an episode where he brought out this crazy Army trailer with a huge mortar turret that put fireworks in there. And if you know Peter Schriepel, he loves fireworks. So we went ahead and did the repair on this B-17, but we made it look like it was repaired in the field. So we had these crazy panels and rivet lines now. And one of the coolest sights I've seen is we're flying and it's dark, and we have the B-17 lit up externally, and we're dropping eggs on Peter and my good friend and team member, Lee Packer. And he is just unloading firework after firework on the B-17. And we have cameras strapped to it like porcupines. And it was just a phenomenal memory. And I think that's coming out the following week, like not this Friday, but the following Friday. But that's what we were just working on. And now a little sneak peek, because unless you see behind the scenes, we're playing with making a Benchy fly, which is, have you ever seen Benchy, the little 3D printed boat that everyone does when they get their 3D printer?
I think so, yeah.
A tiny little tugboat. Looks like what Steamboat Willie flew.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So we love making stupid things fly. And it's like this little Benchy thing. Suddenly it was like, let's make this fly. So now we're working on Benchy. But of course, once we make it fly, we're going to go huge with it.
Who comes up with your ideas? Do you have brainstorming meetings, or do you just have a fever dream and then jot something down in the middle of the night? What?
He eats a bunch of pizza and chocolate chip cookies right before bed, and whatever he dreams up the next day is what's going on in the project.
That's it.
All right, he just cracked the code, man. That's it. So we have threads from our community that throw out lots of really great ideas. We meet those a lot. Oftentimes also we'll go into history and say, let's go ahead and recreate this and see how hard it would be. And then most of the time it is literally kind of like you said, we're on a sugar high, too much caffeine in us. We're all off, and it's, someone throws a 3D printed Benchy at you and you're like, hey, that flew pretty good. Well, let's make it fly, and that kind of is how it happens. So
along those lines, I have a video of just such a thing, and it's one of my favorites of yours because removing the umbrella fixed it. You know what I'm talking about?
Remove the umbrella, fixed it.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and play this.
The UFO.
Yeah.
How hard would it be to fake a UFO sighting?
The only way to find out is to actually build a UFO.
Okay, guys, I've edited this down just to the good parts, but you've removed that clear umbrella that was blocking the propeller somehow, but then you finally got it going. This is one of the most wacky ones I've seen on your channel. Do you still have does this still exist?
No, but the motors exist in other airplanes. That was the worst flying UFO we ever made.
Oh.
It was terrible. It looked awesome.
It did look awesome.
That took years off of our lives, by the way, because that would not get in the air. And I don't know, so maybe someone with more brains than I have could tell me why aerodynamically the umbrella fixed it. But that's all I know right there. It's smacking the ground.
Yeah, it would seem like it would just be a ducted quad,
Yeah. Well, and going back to the manned drone, which is funny because it's manned, it's not a drone, but the manned multi-rotor. Going back to that, one of the biggest stress points was no yaw control whatsoever on that UFO. You could see it. And that was one of the things that we were talking about in the post look back. It's like, guys, we had no yaw because of the torque and everything. So a lot of what we learned from that UFO was kind of applied in the future episodes. But what I noticed with that one is that Venturi effect, almost as it sucked air and blew it down, it almost like drew air from that center section too. And with that umbrella sitting on there, you could literally see the thing kind of caving in, like sucking down against the ground. And it's like, what in the world?
Yeah, that umbrella wasn't made to be a control surface.
No, it wasn't made to be a window either. So
right.
But that was fun. I think we need to revisit that too. We were talking about what should we do for a Halloween episode and stuff, and some good UFO sightings may be fun. That we dress up as little Martians or something.
Heck yeah. Well, we've about kept you long enough. I'll let you get back to your life there, but before before I let you go, I know there's a lot of people watching that look up to you, me included. What are just a little bit of advice for up and coming YouTubers, creators that you can offer that learn by Josh's mistakes, or just some advice? What do you got for us?
Don't compromise on the convictions put in your heart. There's a reason why they're there, and definitely, if you have something you're passionate about, most likely someone else is passionate. You don't need to know everything. You just need to be willing to share what you do know. And by doing that, by helping people get into something or solving a problem for them, you become more of an impactful person in life than being the best at whatever you're striving to do. So, serve other people first, and don't neglect what's in your heart. Stay true to your convictions.
And be yourself, right? Don't try to emulate someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, embrace the brokenness that's within you, and understand that's how you're created, and love it. So,
right.
Absolutely.
I started out my channel, yo, it's your boy Ken. Hit that like button, press the subscribe, yo. But it wasn't just somehow. I don't know. Somehow it just didn't work for me. Some about that. I don't know.
There we go.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Yo. Yeah. Slap that like. Check out my Insta. Anyway, awesome. Thank you so much, Josh Bixler from Flite Test. Very much appreciated your time tonight.
Josh, thank you both.
Thank you for coming on, man. And if you ever want to do an episode in Alaska, please let me know, because I would love to show you around and help get you into some cool places. And yeah,
brother, I'll take you.
Thanks for what you do, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you both for the opportunity. I'd love to come back anytime you have me. Okay.
All right, man. We'll see. We'll see you in the FAA roundtable thing next time.
See you at the roundtable.
All right, see you, bud. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. How about that guy, huh?
What a cool dude, man.
So cool. And he's so knowledgeable.
You know what I like is, like, especially somebody like him who's part of a team that is a huge channel, huge amounts of influence and stuff.
Yeah.
But he comes in totally down to earth, just like I mean, you can tell he practices what he preaches, like a genuine. This is me. This is what I do. This is what I love. That's
right,
awesome.
Like, I didn't have to talk to his people. I didn't have to talk
I was going to ask you about that. Did your people call his people, and you put the whole thing together that way?
Right. I don't have people, but he didn't have handlers and everything. It's just him. He's a genuine article. But we appreciate him being on. So.
No blue M&Ms within 5 years. His rider wasn't that long.
Yeah. I'd like to get to the point where I want to be such a huge YouTuber guy that I do have an actual rider. I would come up with some wacky things.
Yeah. My rider would include glacier water, fresh from the glacier. Every place.
Speaking of glaciers, and we're going to get to the viewer videos, of which I have many here. Many. Do you have time to stick around for another 4 hours, Jake? That'd be a no.
Can we make it like three and a half?
That's not going to be that long. But we're going to play a game called Alaska or Iceland for fabulous prizes, where we'll see if Alaskan Jake can tell the difference between Alaska and Iceland. So that's going to be fun. I've got 2 UAPs, aka UFOs, of unexplained phenomena that were caught by drones that we need you guys to decipher, that are amazing. And right now, let's check out some footage from Jake's backyard. All right, this is.
It's just I opened my sliding door in the backyard, and this is what comes.
This is it. So take us through this. Where is this? What are you doing? Who's that? Why isn't it me?
So, why isn't it you, Ken?
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
I met you at your place. Now you got to meet me at mine.
You're right.
So this is a smallish glacier. It's only about 3 miles long, and it's fairly accessible. And by that, I mean that it's about a 4,000-foot climb and 16-mile hike to go to the top side of it. But it was a beautiful bluebird day. This friend of mine, I asked him if he would come because safety is good and important. And because there are the parts of a Huey helicopter blade up there, I wanted to recover one of them and bring it home. And then there's an airplane crash up there from the 1980s that I wanted to go check out.
Look at you guys just walking across.
And then also this really cool little blue lake up in the top of this glacier.
This is just a 1080 stream, but look at you little dudes down there just casually jumping across crevasses.
Right? Just little ants up there.
Yeah, my God. That really puts it into perspective.
That was one of the perspectives I really wanted to capture with the drone, because I was like, to understand the size and the scope of these things, and this is a small glacier, it's really hard to contemplate unless you can point out people. And so you can see my little red jacket in this shot, way up there on the upper right-hand corner.
Gosh.
There's me standing on the edge. Yeah, it's really hard to understand the scale and the size of these places.
That is amazing. And is that the one you peed on?
No, but my friend swam in there. He jumped
did?
in and swam. I was like, you're probably the only human being in history to have swam in this little lake, because it was covered with ice up until this point, up until about 10 years ago.
I'm guessing it was cold?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talk about shrinkage. My God.
Well, and he had to like ice climb his way down to it. And I told him, I was like, look, anything goes wrong, I can't come down there and get you. Like, you better make sure you can get in and out of the water, okay, by yourself.
How long did it take to get to that point? How much hiking? To that
was 8.5 miles, and that's about 3,000 feet.
Oh, but you didn't
climbing.
hike. You took your chopper.
No, this was yesterday.
Oh.
This is a totally different part of the state. I know it looks so different. Can't you tell that it's totally different?
Do you want to talk about this a little bit? What?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
As far as disclaimer goes, you mean?
Well, maybe. I mean, what we talked about before. I don't want to give away.
Yeah. So, okay. So just as a disclaimer, you should never go and do this around airplanes or helicopters. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of planning and a lot of coordination, a lot of effort to do it safely and legally. Like, you need to know what you're doing and where you're doing it.
Yeah.
But this is a friend of mine that we've been wanting to get together and do this for, 6-8 months maybe. So we finally had the chance yesterday to go and do this, and all of these flights are very carefully coordinated. We're in radio contact. We got multiple people observing and keeping eyes on stuff. But the opportunity to go and film a helicopter flying through these kinds of landscapes is so, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And again, it looks like a toy, because there's really not a lot of things for scale here.
Right.
It could be a toy helicopter.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really was trying to do, is show off the scale. Like, this place is huge. It's so gigantic. It makes a helicopter look like a little remote control helicopter.
What are you flying here, by the way? People want to know.
So this is my 5-inch FPV drone with a GoPro on it.
Okay.
And that was actually all prep for a shoot that we want to do with my larger FPV drone and a larger cinema GPS stabilized drone later this month, hopefully, if weather cooperates.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I was also doing some photos and stuff of the helicopter, hopefully, if they're acceptable for Bell Helicopter to use in some of their promo material.
Okay. It just seems like every time you go out, you come back with some like award-winning footage. You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch!
So on that, I got a video coming up on my channel that's basically me walking around taking pictures, like kind of street photography, like POV, where I had a GoPro here, and I'm walking around this glacier, and I'm like, man, none of this looks good to me. It's all kind of really boring. And then all of a sudden, I stopped in my tracks, and I was like, okay, and I fully understand the irony of I'm walking around a glacier saying it's boring, like in a place that most people only dream of ever getting to see once in their life.
Right. Yeah. So I'm glad you had that realization. You had a come to Jesus meeting with yourself.
That will be on the video of that whole little conversation.
Good. And do you go, what am I doing? Wait a minute, this isn't boring. I'm on a fucking glacier.
Oh yeah.
Is it like that?
Yeah,
okay,
no,
good.
It was like, what am I even saying? I'm standing next to an 80-foot wall of ice.
Yeah.
How could that be boring?
How can I take this glacier for granted? What am I, crazy? Anyway, hey, let me thank a couple of people real quick for the super chats and for supporting the show. So far, no members tonight. No new members. Looking for 10. If you have a minute, become a member. We recorded some fantastic member-only content, as we do every week. Scooter Boy Vlogs. Thanks for the $5. says, so you're against the FAA lawsuit to help all hobbyists enjoy the hobby. I'm confused. No, if they want to help, that's good. If they don't want to help, that's bad. Does that clear it up? Anyway, thanks for the $5. Redbeard the pilot with the $5. In your conversations with the FAA, did the idea of your CBO get weighed against any of the DHS concerns, or did that not come up? Yes. I'll get back to you. I have your email. This is a longer answer than I can do right here. Ben T. Thank you, Ben T, for the $10. Warthogs are my favorite aircraft. Used to see them a lot in the USAF, in the Air Force here in Bergstrom back in the day. Awesome, Ben, and thanks to all who served for your service. Thank you so much. And TJ Grady, my goodness, $50, man. Thank you, TJ. Ken, sorry for missing the train. A little extra to make up for being late. We sure do appreciate everybody hanging out. Now, did I miss? I wanted to get to these viewer videos. We'll play the game here in a second. I'm going to give you a chance to win a GPC case for the SD case and some freewellgear.com filters. All right?
Oh,
that's coming up.
You know how good those Freewell filters are?
They're really good. They're metal and glass. They're not cheapo.
They are, but here's the thing. I recently buried my Air 2S in a ice cave. I may have connected with the ice cave wall. It's unclear how the drone went down, but it went down in some glacier silt mud, essentially, and after replacing a few props and cleaning off all of the mud and silt that was on it. Do you know those Freewell filters still did not scratch? They say they're scratch proof, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's a nice marketing. I mean, I got a lot of Freewell filters, but they are really, apparently, they're really scratch proof.
I want freewellgear.com to make my glasses, because their glass on their filter is really good, and it has to be, because their stuff gets put on action cameras and stuff that you drop and crash and everything. So Freewell Gear.
Maybe crash into an ice cave wall and go into the mud, and
they're ice cave wall.
I mean, I don't do that. I don't do that.
No.
I've heard people do.
You're talking about a friend of yours.
Yeah. There's a guy I know.
A guy
that has done that once or twice or 3 or 4 times.
So we've got so many viewer videos. Let's start with number 1, but we will hear from Tammy Jean. Tammy Jean sent us one. And like I said, a couple UFOs too. So we'll start with a hot air balloon. Oh, lovely. Gotta love those hot air balloons.
Oh, man. I want to fly around a hot air balloon sometime.
I've got a hot air balloon coming on the show. Hot air balloon.
Do you really?
Pilot. Hot air balloon pilot coming on the show. A couple weeks.
Oh, that's cool.
This is from Pat Chando. He says, Ken, I'm a subscriber to your channel and watch weekly. I've been shooting a video for my balloons for ages and just got a DJI Mavic Pro 2 this year and started going out to sites to capture my friends from a different perspective. I have all of the permissions, so everything is good to go. I definitely use Epidemic Sound because it's not crap. Thank you very much.
Right.
P.S. If you are ever out my way in Albuquerque, New Mexico, you got yourself a ride. Oh, heck to the yes. Oh, my goodness. It's been probably 20 years since I've ridden in a hot air balloon. Thank you so much. That's from Pat Chendo. Incidentally, if you want to send in a video and share it, have it on the show, Ken Heron upload at gmail.com. Make sure to include your music source, because as we all know, YouTube gets its panties in a wad, and then they'll...
Boy, do they ever.
Oh, boy, they do. So, Epidemic Sound, there's links in the description for a free 30-day trial, during which time, if you use any of their sound effects or music on your social media, and then after the 30 days, you're like, meh, I can't afford it or whatever, then you got it, man. They will not fault you. You can stop, and they will still honor that music, so you won't get a strike or whatever. And remember, if it's not Epidemic, it's crap. That is true. That is a fact.
That's right. And it keeps YouTube from getting itself in a kerfuffle about copyright stuff.
Oh, YouTube. They clutch their pearls over the littlest thing, don't they?
Dear Lord.
Brad Henderson sent this in. This is really,
cool,
really great. As the 20th anniversary of 9/11 is in just a couple days here. This is a flag memorial. It says, Ken, here's a video of mine I made using my DJI Air 2S. The Flags of Valor
nicely framed shot.
Yeah. The Flags of Valor is a week-long event held in Art Hill Forest Park to honor the victims of 9/11, the first responders who lost their lives and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice to keep our country safe fighting the war on terror. There are 7,000 plus American flags standing between September 4th and 12th, honoring and remember each service member who has died, and information dog tag and a picture of the hero. Thank you, Brad Henderson. Yeah, this is really well done. And respectfully done, too.
Yeah.
What a spectacle.
That's spectacular.
Yeah. Really puts into perspective how many, I mean, each one of those is a life. It was lost.
Well done.
Very well done. Thank you, Brad Henderson, for that. Very much appreciated. Got a lot of great videos today. Hey, let's go to Iceland, shall we?
Let's. I've always wanted to go to Iceland.
Let's go.
I hear it's like Alaska, but I want to see for myself.
Well, we'll see. It might be a tough game for you. This is from Mark Travels. He says, hey, Ken. And I say, hey, back to you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you're doing all right. I just wanted to share this short drone clip with you from my motorcycle journey in Iceland. It's an abandoned DC plane in, good Lord, I can't pronounce this, the umlaut, something else.
I think it's more in the back of the throat.
No, I can't do that. Anyway, it's in Iceland. I can't pronounce it. Have a great day, and I'm looking forward to the next TNL. Even though I can't make it live, I watch every show and really enjoy them. Keep it up, mate. Cheers from Berlin, Germany. Mark. What a great subject for photographers. This is probably the most photographed DC plane ever, seeing as how it's silver on a black background.
Yeah, what a spectacular contrast.
Yeah, and they could take it out of there, but it's a tourist attraction now. Fantastic. Look at this. I know there's a backstory to this. I can't remember why it's there, but it's got a pretty interesting story. And that's all volcanic rock.
I wonder what happened to the rest of it. Did they take the rest of the pieces out? Like the wings and the tail section?
And the motors, the engines? I don't know. That's a good question.
Again, I've been wanting to go for it a couple of years, but I haven't. Weather has not cooperated, and then whatever time, because it's a lot of a hike to get to it. But there's a B-29 that crashed on a glacier in 1952, and you can hike to it. You have to do it in one day and back, which is a stretch. You got to make sure you time it right with the weather and stuff. But I've wanted to go back there and film it and capture it because it's still all there. And there's a plaque that the Boy Scouts took back there honoring the servicemen who died in the crash. But I've been wanting to go back there for a few years.
It's amazing how well preserved stuff in a cold, dry climate can last for so long. I'm sure there's a lot of bush planes out there too, just strewn about.
Oh yeah. I found an entire 185 that had wrecked into the side of a mountain at the top of the glacier I was hiking across in the video I sent you, and it's all still there, all of it, every single piece, even the fishing lures and poles and the thermos that they were taking with them.
Oh wow!
It's all still sitting there. So I guess it was in 82, I think, when they went up to recover, they recovered the bodies but left everything else.
Did you open the thermos? I might have opened the thermos just to see what. I mean, is that disrespectful?
I thought about it, but then I was like, I don't want to be disrespectful. I took a few photos, but we really tried not to disturb anything and just kind of leave it be. I don't know. I always err on the side of caution on stuff like that.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, there's some families that probably go visit the spot too. Hey, just a quick side note. I know it's in Alaska. There's this movie that was made about this dude. I forget what it was called. There's this old bus, and he died in the bus. Do you know what I'm talking about? Somebody in the chat tell me what movie that is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what the movie is, but that's a very famous thing. In fact, they had to move they airlifted the bus out of its location to an easier to get to location because so many people were going out to see the bus and were getting stuck out there and having to be rescued by the National Guard.
Right, because
for the same reasons that the guy who went out there died.
Because of the river.
Because of the river and because the weather changes incredibly fast. And if you're not out there ready to deal with it, like it becomes serious really quickly.
Yeah, it was called Into the Wild.
They airlifted the whole entire bus to another location where it can be seen easier. Yeah, Into the Wild, junk pick.
Wow.
Mr. FPV, I think.
How far is that location from you?
Peter Rogers. It's a couple 100 miles.
Is it?
All right. Which in Alaska terms is like practically next door because everything's a few 100 miles from everything.
Right. Do people on the regular take a plane to grocery shop? Is that like a thing?
There are some people that do. Yeah.
Wow. The distances. I don't think people in the lower 48 can really appreciate the vast distances between communities up there. It really is.
No.
And I don't know firsthand, but I know it's damn big.
So when I was down working in the 6, 7, 8 states or whatever, when you and I met up in Nashville, we had driven from the very northern west corner of Illinois down the Mississippi all the way down and ended up kind of doing some stuff and then ended up the lowest I went was in Birmingham, Alabama. And it was like, that's so much driving. And I was like, yeah, that's about the distance between our two major cities that we just drove.
Yeah. Like, you must have thought, man,
you want to drive, from one major city to the next. It's fine. You just drive from New York to Orlando. It's basically about the same amount of distance.
Right. You must have thought, man, these cities are awfully close together.
I was like, wait, another city already?
Wow.
Like, were we just in the last one?
Yeah. All right. I've got the UFOs, these UAP. What is the difference between a UAP and a UFO? Unidentified flying object and an unidentified aerial phenomenon. I guess.
Is that what they stand for?
Yeah, a UAP is an unidentified aerial phenomenon. That's a fairly new thing that is being used. And thank you very much for the becoming a member. We got our first member. All right.
Yeah.
First member tonight.
Welcome, Paul.
Welcome. And now you have access to the back catalog of all the wacky members only stuff. Good for you.
Oh, man.
All right.
And tonight's pre-show was a doozy.
It was a doozy, for sure. I think I said a bad word, too, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. You might have two, maybe?
Oh, that's naughty. Okay, so here's the first one. This is from great username, Prepper Frog. He says, Ken, for your consideration, sir, what do you and the viewers think this object is? All right, so here is the first UAP, and I'll play it a couple times and slow it down. Look in the upper right. Did you see it go by? Here it is again. This is an original speed, actual speed, upper right. See it go by? Zooming in. There it goes. It looked like it was yellow. Watch here, and you can see where it's coming from. Slow it down. What the heck is that thing? Is it a canary? What is that? Here it is one more time. Your thoughts on that?
I think that was some high school football player who really has a heck of an arm.
It did look yellow, but it was too yellow to be a bird, unless it was Tweety Bird.
It was too yellow to be a bird.
Yeah, it almost looked like a errant tennis ball. What are people saying? Bug, missile,
tracer round.
Tracer round. Maybe it was a golf ball. It was going too straight though.
It was going really straight.
Yeah. All right. Now that one was mysterious, but this one here, this one gave me the chills. Now I'm not into the paranormal, I mean, I truly believe, mathematically, there's certainly other beings in the universe. Sure. You have to understand that. But ghosts, meh. Whatevs. But UFOs and visitors, quite possibly. This one gave me the chills. Okay, this is from Caroline. She sent us stuff before. Hey, Ken, I was flying my little AR mini wing and had a strange encounter. Music, of course, is all epidemic. Of course it is. Thank you, Caroline. So here it is. Played a couple times. Watch in the lower left. This thing comes whizzing by. It's white. There it goes. Did you see it?
Whoa.
Play it again. A little bit slower.
The music is fantastic.
Yeah. And it's almost craft shaped. What? Look at this. Watch from here.
It is.
Look at that. What is that? It's not a bird. That was not a bird.
It looks like one of those little
a shuttle
poopy things that come off dandelions.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was a shuttlecock from a badminton set.
No.
It's just fun saying shuttlecock, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm going to play that again because that really... Check this out. That freeze frame was super intriguing.
Yeah, it was. Great music for this, too.
Yeah, what? Watch from this point. What is that? It looked like, it's almost like a tail. Like some kind of control surface or... What do you guys think it is? Is it matrixing from the camera? I don't know what it is, but it's really intriguing. Your thoughts?
You know what it would be if we were flying in a small airplane and we saw that? Or a big airplane for that matter?
What?
A drone.
Oh, yeah. That's what it would be.
Because anytime any airplane sees anything close to them, whether it's a Mylar balloon taking off from Chicago O'Hare, it's always a drone. It's always a drone.
By the way, Jake, being up in Alaska close to the what's that magnetic thing? What are those? The waves?
The aurora?
The aurora borealis.
Yes.
And all that stuff. You've seen some wacky things. Have you ever seen a UFO or No? You've never seen... No?
No, never have.
Okay.
I've seen a meteor come down and explode in the sky over our highway. That happened in, I think it was like 2000. Lit up the entire, it was like broad daylight. But
wow.
It was like this, the color before a tornado hits, that kind of eerie green that happens in the light? It was like that color, but it was like daylight in the middle of winter, in the middle of the night.
Wow. That's cool.
That was cool.
And I have seen, when I lived in Vermont, I saw the aurora.
Did you really?
Yeah. It's kind of life-changing to see it.
It is a phenomenal thing to see. It really, especially if you get a really energetic and really brilliant display, it's like mesmerizing. It's really incredible.
They say if you see the aurora or a tornado close up, it's life-changing. I can tell you, yes and yes. I saw a tornado 2 blocks from my face in Lincoln, Nebraska. Oh, anyway, that's another story. So, we got a video from our buddy Philip Koshat. Philip, thank you for sending this in. This is some really cool stuff and very, very pretty from Mr. Koshat. I call it What the Fog. What the Fog? He says, hey, Ken, when I woke up Thursday morning, I looked out the window and said, wow, foggy morning, and thought this would be a great time for the big orange flying brick, the Autel. I only got the bird up for a short period to get this shot before the fog burned off. My hands were trembling, and I said, well, that's enough for right now. Music is epidemic sound because everything else is crap. But that's cool.
That is cool. I love fog, and like people think I only want to go out in bluebird days and stuff, but it's not. I really like it when there are clouds and stuff to give depth. It really adds a whole new dimension to whatever you're filming or taking photos of.
Yeah, and you must get some really low-lying heavy fog sitting on top of that snow sometimes.
Yes.
Thank you, Philip, for sending that in, buddy. I'm trying to.
My
blow through
favorite's
these.
the ice fog in the winter when it's actually the frozen frost crystals that are suspended in the air because it like has this like little iridescent sort of sparkle.
It's
all
got a
through the
shimmer
air. It's
to
really
it.
wild.
Oh, neat. That's when you need your laser.
That's right.
Yeah, get
Well,
you a nice.
That's when you're coming up and you're going to bring your big 50 billion
That's
lumen
right.
flashlight and your
all of
laser,
that.
right?
I'm going to bring my 2-watt blue laser and blast those
Yes.
ice crystals out. Blind a polar bear. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I would make national news if I accidentally blinded a polar bear. Holy crap!
Oh, you would be.
I'd be
over the news.
Oh
man.
no, I'd be PETA's best buddy. I'm not going to do that, PETA. So this is from the Czech Republic.
Oh, cool.
I think I've gotten one other video, and from the same guy whose name I cannot pronounce. He's a big supporter of the channel, and I'm going to give it my best effort here. This is from Neo Granizoni 1. Did I get it? Did I get it? We're good? I'm being told
Yes.
no. I'm being told no. Anyway, so this is from the Czech Republic. Let me go ahead and start this up here. He says, "Hey Ken, I don't fly drones like in a few months, but I was first time in mountains, and I think maybe this is good chance to record something new. So this is my last video from Izeria, which is in the Czech Republic. Thanks for your time reading this and watching."
Oh, that's cool.
So I want everybody to check this out. I had to. Could not be helped.
But at least you're giving proper credit where it's due.
Right. Hey, if you're in the Czech Republic and they need to get a price on something in the grocery store, do they go, "Price check, aisle 1"? Do they do? No. I guess. I'm done now.
I'll have to check on that for you.
Okay. Look at that time lapse.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice. I love Astro stuff. I can't wait to do more of it this winter.
Awesome sauceum. Thank you very much. Name I can't pronounce. And I won't try again because I will butcher it. Off to Lake Conroe, Texas, which is where my dad lived before his divorce.
All right.
Sore subject. Anyway, this is from Rick, and this is Lake Conroe, Texas. Hey Ken, he says, just got back from a Labor Day weekend retreat at Lake Conroe, Texas to celebrate my 74th birthday with my daughter, Ashley, husband, Jacko, and granddaughter, Emma. This was shot with a DJI Mini 2, and the sound is from Epidemic. Hope you enjoy. Rick. Isn't that a neat little island?
That is cool.
Little party island there in the middle of Lake Conroe. Boater's paradise out there.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Wonderful. Thanks for reminding me of what Lake Conroe looks like. I don't think I'll get to visit it.
It looked hot to me. That looked really hot.
It's always hot there. Oh, this is a very interesting video. And we're about to play a game here. So your chance to win. So everybody get ready, okay? This is from Rob B. And I'll go ahead and start this while I talk about it. This is an FPV recovery. He says, "Hey Ken, longtime viewer of your episodes and live streams. I finally think I have something entertaining enough to send. Brent and I hiked to a remote area in Squamish Valley to recover a lost Apex 5-inch FPV drone that I lost surfing some waterfalls in the area." This is the actual footage from it. "This location is known for grizzly bears, cougars, the animal, not the ladies, wolves, eagles, and lots of other wildlife. In the end, we were comparing footage and noticed we hiked into the wrong set of waterfalls. The music is epidemic. Thanks for checking it out, Ken. See you Thursday, Rob B." So you can see here in just a second, it's going to crap out, and that's it.
Oh.
Then they had to hike in, but they did find some interesting other things to film.
Oh, it's got a salmon.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
But look at this waterfall.
That's beautiful.
Have you ever sent your FPV down a waterfall?
I have. Yep. And then I recovered it and waterproofed it and tried it again and had better luck the second time.
Good. You got to conformal coat that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't you think? You learn that lesson the hard way after you buy a few flight controllers.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
There they are. The drone recovery team. Wonderful. Thanks for sending that in, fellers. Wonderful,
Very
wonderful,
nice.
wonderful. All right. I like I said, we got a lot of videos, and the viewer video of the week tonight is from somebody we all know and love.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's surprisingly beautiful. Like, I don't know why I know. When you find out who it is, it's like, wow, that person did this? I mean, I'm not.
Wait, that was them?
Yeah,
I thought it.
Yeah, I'm not throwing shade, really. I guess I am, but where do you find out who did it and what it looks like?
That feels very much of like the compliment when somebody comes by and go, "Man, you did such a great job. I mean, I just was shocked at how well you did." You're like, "Wait,
yeah,
thank you."
Right? Yeah, that's a backhanded compliment, isn't it? This person did this. What?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jake, are you? I don't know if I've ever asked. Are you a married guy in a relationship? Are you? How long you been married?
I'm married 16 years.
Ooh, what's the secret? Different bedrooms?
Yes, a lot of yes.
A lot of compromise, right? And finding common things that you can do together, right?
Very true.
Yes. Does she share in your love of FPV and flying and whatnot?
No.
No? Well, you have other things to share then, right?
Yes.
Okay. I am jealous of this couple because they both like to fly, and it is Mr. and Mrs. Tam and Jean.
Really?
Yes, yes. And I'll start this video. One is flying FPV, and the other is flying a fixed wing. And they're out just doing it together as a couple. And I think that's awesome. They even brought the dog.
That is.
So they say, "Hey, Ken, here's a video from a cool spot in upstate New York. Max and I flew stuff. And I tried to chase his plane with my DJI POS drone. We had a picnic, and we watched the sunset. There's old Tammy Jean right there. Hey, girl. This is how we like to spend our weekends. Hope you enjoy Tammy Jean."
Oh, that is cool.
That's Max Air 420 and the...
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah, that's who it is, yeah. Him and Tammy Jean
okay.
are an item, man. Come on now. So that's cool, man. He's flying, she's flying.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I guess, a lot of times you drag the girlfriend out to wherever. You're like, "I'm going to fly for a while." "Oh, it's going to be fun for you, honey." "Yeah, okay, honey." And she ends up being on the phone the whole time, But, Tammy Jean's out there doing it. Hell yeah. In the chat. Go, Tammy Jean. Heck yeah.
That's right.
Oh, man. If I love my dog Henry. He's old. But when it comes time where I get a new dog, I'm going to honor her by naming... I'm going to get a female dog. I'm going to name my dog Tammy Jean.
Nice.
In honor of this Tammy Jean. But look how close...
Yeah.
I mean,
that is really hard to do.
It is, and she's getting really good too.
Yeah, anytime you're chasing somebody else who's also flying anything that flies, it's really, really difficult to maintain a good distance and to keep it framed up well.
Yeah, and you have to stay in communication with them. Like, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to slow down, I'm going to left or whatever you're going to do. But awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Tammy Jean.
Nice sunset too.
Woo! All right. So
I mean, okay, but I don't feel like that music makes sense for Tammy Jean, being that they're in upstate New York.
I know, but I think one of the first videos they sent, they were in the South, and I mean, your name is Tammy Jean. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, the name definitely goes with that.
Yeah. But all right, so let's see. I think it's time to give stuff away. Pick me, pick me. Woo!
Oh wait, that means I lose, right?
What's that? What's that? Oh yeah, you're not
when we
eligible.
give stuff away, that's because I'm losing.
Well, you pick someone, and I'll pick someone. All right. And if you get a majority of these, then your person will win. If you don't, then my person wins. So somebody's going to win either way. So let's see. Pick me, everybody. And Jake, you pick someone. Let's try to pick someone that hasn't been picked before. Let me see here. Okay, I got someone. All right, I got my person. Do you have your person?
Yes.
Wonderful. Now you can play along at home, but this is a game that we're gonna play. And let me get my game show music. Wait. Here we go. Nope, that wasn't it. Here it is. All right, we're gonna play, and you can stop saying "pick me." Stop it. We're gonna play. This is the debut of the contest called Alaska or Iceland. I'm going to show a picture. What? What is it?
I know how well this is going to go.
I think some will be easier than others. All right. All right. So I'm going to show you a picture, and you tell me if it's Alaska or Iceland. All right. We'll see how many you get. All right. So here is the first picture. Is that Alaska or Iceland? I mean,
if you hadn't told me anything, I would have gone, it looks like Mount Everest. Isn't that in Nepal?
Oh, okay. So if somebody plunked you down.
I'm going to go with Alaska.
Well, you are correct, sir. Correct. I think I'm doing this wrong. I'm gonna flip back and forth between two pictures. That's what I'm gonna do. Here's the other one.
Okay.
Okay. So that's obviously gonna be Iceland. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is and I picked this because it has a funny name. That's Mount Bona. You know where that is? Have you heard of that? Mount Bona,
I haven't been there, but I know where it is.
That's just dirty. And this is Mount Helka in Iceland. Okay. Fun? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so those are mountains. I'm going to give you...
So do I count that one as a...
Yeah, you can count that one. You keeping score for me?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so the next set of pictures are lakes, okay? You tell me which one is Alaska and which one is Iceland, okay? So here's the first one. And here's the second one. So number 1. And number 2.
Number 2 is Alaska.
Dude, yeah. How do you know that?
You know how I know?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. I knew I'd pick a lake that you've been to.
I've been there many times.
Yeah.
It's a really cool lake.
Yeah, that's Kenai Lake, I think. Is that how you say it?
Kenai Lake.
Kenai Lake. Of course, I can't pronounce anything. All right.
Yeah, in fact, when I did my Air 2 review and test, I photographed that lake a bunch because it's this just brilliant blue water with all the mountains around it. It looks amazing.
Okay. This next one might be a little bit more difficult. Okay. I have a little
I'm going to laugh so hard if you show me pictures and I'm in one of them and then I'll get it wrong.
No, it won't be like that. But this might be a little bit difficult. I have pictures of polar bears. So tell me, is this Icelandic polar bears or Alaska polar? Which one's the Icelandic polar bears, and which one is the Alaskan polar bear? Okay,
it's tough to tell because they go back and forth a lot. They got some sort of visa deal going on.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So this is 1, and this is 2.
On the chance that I've got a 50-50 of getting this right, I'm going to say number 1 is Iceland and number 2 is Alaska.
You're correct. Yeah, this is Iceland.
No way.
Yeah, this is Iceland. Correct. And these are Alaskan polar bears. Good job, man. I thought
I could tell.
Yeah, how?
The snow in Iceland's a completely different color than the snow in Alaska.
Yeah. I knew you'd pick up on that. Now, this should be easy. I have 2 cities. Okay? All you have to do is name one of the cities. Okay? All right,
Okay.
So here's city number 1.
Oh, yeah.
And here's city number 2. City. And
Well,
if you name
the first one is Anchorage.
correct,
The second one is Reykjavik.
dude, you got it. Amazing. Wow.
Boom.
You're pretty good, man. You're pretty good.
Yeah, I was worried I was gonna have to like hand in my Alaska card or something.
Yeah. How do you say that? Reykjavik? Reykjavik?
It's like Reykjavik or
Reykjavik.
something.
Okay. We'll just leave it
I'm
at
pretty
that.
sure we're both like completely way off base about how to say it, but yeah.
All right. If you just joined us, we're playing Alaska or Iceland. All right. I should have had just
And
pictures.
I got one right based on the color of the snow.
Yeah.
Because it's distinctly different.
I should have had just snowmen. You know.
You should have snowmen and then like just pictures of the water. Is this blue water from Alaska or is this blue water from Iceland?
Right.
Which one of these is?
Is this an Alaskan toothbrush or an Icelandic toothbrush? All right, one more. And people are playing along at home. I think they're having a good time. This is the best game ever.
So far, actually, quite a few people have been getting it right.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, man.
I'm
Kudos
surprised.
to you guys.
So the last one are highways, okay?
Okay.
And I'll show you highways, and you have to tell me which one is which, okay? So here's highway number
right.
1, and there's highway number 2. Highway number 1.
Okay, number 1 is Iceland. Number 2 is Alaska.
Right! And I'm guessing, what was your clue there?
The center stripe,
Yeah.
for one.
Yeah.
And then we don't have any side things like that in Alaska.
You don't?
No, we do, but they're totally different than that. They don't look anything like that.
But you have, those are for, so that the snowplows know where the road is when it snows, right?
It is, yeah. And like we have ours in places where we get lots of snow or lots of wind drift snow, they'll go up 20 feet and then they have these big crossbars that come out. So the snow plows know exactly where the side of the road is and then how far over they can plow without hitting the poles or anything else that's on the side of the road.
Oh my God. That's a lot of damn snow. Anyway.
Yes, it is.
So who is the winner of the GPC? SD
I picked Ken, which is Ken, aka 4DVPO.
Ken 40po.
Yes.
Hey, congratulations, Ken. And now I guess I have to say who the loser is. Right? I mean, we want to know. Do we not want to know? I mean, I didn't expect to skunk you.
Like that's like Kelly Green level of winning there, but not with music.
Yeah.
Would suck it.
What's more polite? Just not mentioning who I picked and let it be a mystery, or probably better that way. Do we want to know? People in the chat are like,
yeah. People in the chat, you gotta let us know if you want to know.
We'll find out who the loser is, and the loser is Johnny DRC.
Oh.
Nah, you know what?
You
know what? I'm gonna give you one too. Johnny DRC, you got one of these as well. Because in this day and age, everybody knows, millennial parents, everybody gets a trophy.
Everybody's a winner.
Woo! Don't say the word no to your kids. All right.
Man.
Yeah. Let's see. So we did that. So you know what? That was a very, very exciting contest. I think I'm going to need...
That was a challenge, especially those polar bears.
Yeah. I'm going to have to step into the Raz chamber for a moment, if you don't mind. We need to rinse off because we almost made a loser, but we're all winners here in the Raz chamber as we dip our toes in the rest of our bodies and get engulfed in the purple and blue goo. The warmth that is the TNL womb of joy. No rules in here except one rule only, and what is that rule, sir?
Absolutely no. None. Never. Nada. Ever can be any flatulence in the RAS.
Do not fart in the RAS, but do enjoy.
Man, it feels so good after a long hike. It just...
Thunderbird 6, you dirty bird. You dirty bird, you Thunderbird 6. I could see him rearing up. He was lifting one cheek. I was like, but he did it.
Oh, yeah.
Man, we got that one rule that everybody breaks all the time.
Yeah, every single time. And then the whole filtering process, the cleaning process, it's a whole big deal for production. It takes Ken till next week to get it fixed.
I mean, I think that one's going to clog the filter.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, it sounded kind of solid in there.
It really did, didn't it? All right. Well, you know what? We've got to mention our sponsor.
Oh, yes.
Because our sponsor loves to be mentioned right after fartage. I know that for a fact. And I'm talking, of course, about RemotePilot101.com with our buddy Jason Schappert, you know, the 2-watch guy. If you want to get studied up and get the knowledge you need for your 14 CFR Part 107, then you go to RemotePilot101.com. You plug in Heron 18 and you get 30% off. And then it's good for life. So when you have to take the test again, the recurrent test, it's a lot easier. And you know what? It's just good to have the knowledge. I feel very fortunate having had to take the test since 2016, all those times. It took that many times to get it in there. But I'd say at least 37% stayed in there. So good for me. But you might be better at studying. RemotePilot101.com. They've got the curriculum and the easy video lessons put on by Jason Schappert. And you know what? If you're a lady pilot, he is nothing too shabby to look at either, ladies. So I've been told.
Not hard on the eyes.
That's right. He's a tan god with glowing white teeth and perfect skeletal structure. He's an Adonis in the aviation industry. He's Jason Schappert, right. And he's going to be our guest next week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's going to be on. So go to RemotePilot101.com. Check out their YouTube channel as well. Tell them Ken sent you.
That's right.
All right.
I use Remote Pilot 101 to get my Part 107. I encourage everybody who flies drones to get a Part 107 just because of the knowledge it gives you. And frankly, Ken, I hand out your discount code all the time.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that. I don't get any kickback from it, but I get the cred, and that's really what
I figure if it helps people get their Part 107 and get into it, and we get more knowledgeable drone pilots out there, it's good for all of us.
Abso-freaking-lutely. By the way, I haven't done this in a while. Camera 2. Oh, hey. Ooh, that's different. Woo, look at all the stuff. Look at all the stuff. Look at all the stuff. Okay, and we're back. Yeah, that was a lot. All right, did I miss anything else? Did I promise anything and didn't deliver? It was a pretty interesting show. Oh, you got camera 2 as well?
I have camera 2.
Look at you. And that microphone.
My desk is a total mess, but whatever.
You mean you put your microphone out of the camera frame?
I do.
And I got mine right here in front of my face? What the hell's wrong with me? I think if I put it wouldn't sound right. Because I want those.
Well, that is the difference. I do have a microphone that's this big, that big around that I used to use in recording studios. That was handmade for me by a guy in Germany, and I've thought sometimes I need to use that because a big, huge microphone makes you look more official. But
I've got microphone envy for sure. I mean, your microphone's bigger than mine.
Not this one.
No, not this one. No.
This is just a little fuzzy thing. See, it's just a little kind.
Oh, is that a shotgun, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is an Audio Technica. Do you know how old this mic is?
No, but I bet it's been around for a while. They make some good mics.
Jake, how old were you in 1992? How old were you?
13, 14?
Were you?
14? 13.
Okay.
13.
So you were wearing braces and just getting hair in all those weird places when I bought this thing. Awesome. Yeah, I've had this mic forever. But anyway, so now it's time for the viewer video of the week. Amazingly beautiful from this idiot. I can't believe it. I mean, it's really a step. When you find out and you see the video, you be like, no, that guy really? No, just kidding. But the winner of the viewer video of the week and the freewellgear.com filters is Oh, the suspense. El frickin' Smeghead. Yeah! What? Yeah, that guy. What? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Wait till you see it.
Video? You a video of the week?
Yeah, it's beautiful. And so let's enjoy it. It's a viewer video of the week of the Guernsey coast in the British Channel Islands from none other than El Smeghead. He says, good morning, afternoon, evening, Ken. I have been living the life of Riley on the island of Guernsey in the British Channel Islands since July 2020, the height of the coronavirus pandemic. It has given me the freedom to carry on in the British spirit of things, the freedom to express myself through drone videography, and the freedom to get drunk on the weekends without the missus nagging me for attention. I know I'm not alone when I say TNL is the highlight of my week. Just keep doing what you're doing, Ken. Tell Kelly to give up tennis and get Dana back. Andy L. Smeghead Cortez. Look at this. Look at this.
That is some beautiful footage so far.
He's been holding out on us.
Yeah. I feel like he's been like scraping together the like bits of footage that nobody else wanted and giving it to you in the past. This is like some A-grade stuff.
Yeah, I've been getting the refuse video. I've been getting the scrapple of videos.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
The back bacon, if you will.
Look at that, tracking while panning? Yeah. I mean, come on.
Wow. And what a beautiful place.
Yeah,
he talks
great
about
lighting. He really picked a good time to shoot this.
Yeah, he talks about Guernsey all the time, but now to finally see it, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, it is kind of a paradise.
That water is beautiful.
What a great place to get drunk. Would you jump off that rock into the water? I would.
I would.
Even at my age, I would do it. At risk of breaking a hip, I'd do it.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful. Wow. Can you believe that came out of Smeghead? Somebody said, Scrapple is the best thing that ever is. Yeah, I think, is that a northern thing? Do you know what Scrapple is, Jake?
I do not.
I saw the look of confusion on your face when I said it, but I think Scrapple, let me explain what Scrapple is very quickly. Old Scrapple, in the olden days, it originated from these fry cooks that cook breakfast and lunch and dinner and all little bits of meat and like bacon and everything that get kind of chopped up on the side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they put it together and they sell it as Scrapple. But now, of course, it's made to be Scrapple. But back in the day, Scrapple was garbage. But
it was the everything goes into one thing and gets cooked and shove it in your mouth.
It's much like the licorice in taffy. I can tell you this: if you take away one thing from this show, never eat licorice saltwater taffy, because every place uses licorice as the dumpster for all the other flavors, like all little bits and pieces that come off the machine, all the leftover taffy flavors. It all gets mushed and pulled, and then you get that licorice flavor that is so strong and overwhelming. More licorice.
Anything. You can make anything disappear with the flavor of licorice because it will just wipe it out.
That's it. The mob used to bury bodies and use licorice flavoring instead of lime. I made that up, but don't eat the licorice. Anyway, I think that's it for today. I will give you, sir, the last word.
Well, I hear that even polar bears won't try and eat you if you cover yourself in licorice. So when you come up, we might give that a shot. But fantastic show, man. The videos that people sent in this week were all really amazing.
They were
really cool people in the audience.
If you want to send yours in, you can send it here. Ken Heron Upload at Gmail. Oh, one more thing before I go. I also do a radio morning show on WGLI, Rock 98.3, Paducah, Kentucky. And I like to share some audio of this past week in case you want to, if there's, the moderators will put the caster link in the chit chat. So if you want to, if you're in another country, you want to hear my morning show, we're on from 6 a.m. Central Time to 9 a.m. Central Time here in the United States. But here's some of the wacky antics that we've gotten into.
Rock 98.3 WJLI. Here's some fun stuff the Brew Crew Morning Show's gotten into lately.
It's National Matchmaker Day. Let's all help work together to help Ken out.
If you insist on doing this, then I must insist on screening.
The phone is ringing, Ken. Hello, Rock 98.3.
My name is Nikki.
Nikki.
I know that Ken has got some probing questions, all right?
Tell me your questions, Ken.
All right.
How old of a gal are you?
I am 21.
21?
I'm a youngin'.
She's still in the mix?
How many children do you have?
I don't have any kids.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
Nikki, how often do you have to see your parole officer?
I don't have a parole officer, sir.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Now, this is delicate. And I don't want to get too dark, but I want to ask it in a delicate way. If you were to, God forbid, have an aneurysm, something, get hit by a bus, fall over, how many pallbearers would you need? That's terrible.
You can't ask a lady how much she weighs, Ken.
You can't. You can't.
I actually lost a shit ton of weight because I stopped eating gluten, so probably like 122 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir. We haven't ruled her out yet.
No. And you're 21, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know if I could date you, but I sure could adopt you.
Please, I want a father.
Okay.
Start your day with JC and Ken.
There you go. There you go. So that's the kind of stuff that it's a little more racy than here. Before we go, I did promise to talk about the car for those who are sticking around to hear about that. So my poor 2011 Mazda RX-8 has had some electrical problems. And it seems like just once in a while, this one 15 amp fuse will blow, and then that actuates the sump pump and puts oil into the rotors. And in a rotary engine, that just creates like steam engine train smoke out the back, like just horrible. I closed down the interstate once in Maryland. The people in Maryland couldn't figure it out. People in Chicago said, yeah, bring it on. Come on. We'll see you next week. All right. We'll see you Friday. I'm coming up from Tennessee. Okay. So I got Keith from D&D Aerial Views to follow me just in case anything went wrong. And thank God I did, because 2 hours away in Paducah, met him, heading up to Chicago. Boom. It happened. Replaced the fuse. 10 minutes later, boom. It happened again. Did that 2 more times. And then the car just gave up the ghost. I'm on the side of the road. I documented all this. This is my next video, by the way.
And, cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
And I was meeting some people, some viewers, some fans in Chicago. And so I had to get there, so I paid quite a bit of money to have the thing flatbedded to the shop in Chicago. Got there. Remember the guy said, sure, come on by, we'll see you Friday. The shop was closed. There was nobody there when I got there. So I just had to leave my car and hope that they remembered me. Turns out the shop was closed due to COVID.
Oh.
Yeah, so, but anyway, I talked to them. They said, we know what the problem is. We're going to get it figured out. Don't you worry. And I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you. So my car is in Chicago, and hopefully it'll be fixed this time. We'll see. But
man, I hope so.
Yeah, I love that car, and I got so much damn money in it. I can't give up now. That would be, I can't.
You're in too far now.
I'm in too deep. I'm in too deep,
way
man.
Past the point of no return.
Yeah, way past. Just very quickly, did I mention that we got $5 from T-Bird FPV? Thank you very much. Hey Ken, I joined midweek. Thanks for helping me spend my money on a Mini 2. Sorry, Gmail sent your email to junk mail. That's all right. I'm glad that we finally connected here. Lenses Overland LLC with the $5. Thank you so much for the super sticker.
Stickers, I like stickers, yes I do.
And Paul, thanks again for becoming a member of the Heron Birds. The one and only member. Still have time to become a member if you're interested in the members only content. And 10 Toes. Hey, buddy, 10 Toes. $5. He simply says, zoom, zoom. And ladies and gentlemen, entering the arena right now, it's Jimmy J.
Jimmy J.
Thank you, Jimmy J, for the $2, buddy. Well, that blows. Darn luck. Thanks, Keith. Indeed. And with that, that's the end of the stream.
We hope you enjoyed the show half as much as you would have if it had been twice as good.
My goodness, thank you everybody for your support. As always, I see the same names in the chat every week consistently, and I really, really appreciate you. And even if you're watching and you're not a member, that's okay. Become a member, why not? Thank you so much, Josh Bixler from Flite Test, for being on. Such a cool guy. And thank you to Sean Geeksvana for sitting in for Jeff Sills for the news. I did speak with Jeff. He went to the doctor, and I think he'll be back next week. He's feeling a little bit better. Thank you, Jake, for sitting in for the tennising Kelly Green. And until next time,
and bye.
The killer could process meat. Enjoy pigeon jerky, and you'll give your family a treat. Establish nutrition to help them grow, and it's full of fiber to make them grow. You'll enjoy pigeon jerky.
A killer could process meat. Yeah. That was so funny.
You'll enjoy Thursday Night Live with Ken Heron and Kelly, Jeff and Ashley too. There'll be fun and quizzes and Kelly's misses. The bird is the word in the news. It's the #1 live stream, it's got pizzazz. There's only one rule, don't fart in the rats. If you think it's funny, super chat some money, 'cause TNL is here for you. Yeah!